super locations in the Delaware Valley. The Gap. Remember, they're going to give a gift certificate to the winning team. So keep in mind, the Gap. Right now, I'm Don Henderson along with Drew Gordon. And Drew, we talk about this confrontation coming up tonight. It's really a battle of versatility. Let's talk a little bit about Judge first.
Well, Judge, I think going into the game, they have shut out their last 3 opponents. Go off to a little bit of a slow start, but they're coming into the game 9-3, 10-3. You know, they've got some momentum going for them. They have the great running back in Magallanes. They have good quarterback in Higgins. Good defensive people. You know, Father Judge, at Northeast Philadelphia, they have had a reputation for, as long as they've been around, of good, tough kids. And they always come to play football, always have the good defense year in and year out. This year they have the all-Catholic halfback, the quarterback in Higgins, and a lot of versatility. They can do a lot of different things.
Let's talk about their coach for a second, because Whitey Sullivan has done an excellent job in preparing his club coming down the home stretch. As you pointed out, from a defensive standpoint, he must have excellent people, supportive people, working on his coaching staff.
Well, Judge has always had a history of a lot of players, a lot of the guys that play there coming back and helping out coaching. I can mention Bobby Kopp and Bruce Gladhorn, guys that I happen to play against in high school, who I know have always stayed with their program, and Judge seems to have that going for them. The community gets involved, the guys that graduate don't forget where they came from, they came back and they help out a lot, and that helps to make a good program. Some people have said Sullivan Coach of the Year this year because this was the one year he wasn't supposed to have a real good team. And yet they turned it around after some early problems, and again, they're a typical Judge team, good defense, they go with a good hard-nosed football, good running back. This year they have a pretty good quarterback to go along with it.
Drew, I think we'd have to take it one step further and talk about the discipline of the ball club, because we saw at Veterans Stadium last week, to get here, obviously you have to be a well-disciplined team. But we saw not only great discipline, great execution, and that comes from hard work.
It sure does, and it comes from a lot of that comes from tradition of your school too, and your football program itself. Sullivan's been there 8-9 years, done a real nice job, and they're historically they haven't lost a playoff game yet for one thing. When they get to the playoffs, they win. They know how to win, and that has a lot to do with your tradition, your program, how the kids react to the pressures of the situation, how your coaching staff. They have consistencies too in Sullivan, so they have a lot of positive things going for them, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons. We saw them last week put on a good show defensively. I think they got that blocked field goal at the end of the first half, got the touchdown, and I think Sullivan said, okay, I have the good defense. I'm going to play defensive football in the second half. I've got a 14-0 lead. Let the other team make the mistakes and try to come back against me.
I think we've talked about Magallanes. We've also talked about Higgins and their capability going into tonight's ball game. And I think sometimes a young man that wears number 40 by the name of Jones, who is the up back in that I formation, who does a great job of blocking, but more importantly, when he has to take the ball, he knows what to do with it.
That's right. Any great running back has some type of a complement in the backfield. Sometimes you'll see it in the quarterback, but most of the time you'll see it in the up back. Anytime out of the I formation, somebody's got to kick out the end, somebody's got to block the linebacker in the isolation. Jones does a great job, but your second point's well taken. He doesn't just run the ball just to show the other team that he will run the ball once in a while. When he runs it, he's effective.
This pregame show being brought to you by The Gap. I'm Don Henderson along with Drew Gordon. How about if we pause for just a minute, then we'll switch gears. We'll go to Bob Ewing, and we'll see exactly what O'Hara should be doing tonight. From Northeast High School, continuing now, I'm Don Henderson along with Drew Gordon, and we talked a little bit about Judge and what we can expect in this evening's game. How about if we just switch over to Bob Ewing's team, because again, we talked about discipline with Whitey Sullivan. I think we have to talk a little bit about the same thing with Bob Ewing.
Well, look at Bob Ewing, open heart surgery last year. I mean, if you're going to rally around the guy that, and show your ability to come back and do something that you love to do, that's a tremendous tribute to him. That his team's very well disciplined. We saw him against Bonner last week. Great defense. Some people said it was the best they have played this year. They come into the game tonight 7-5, as what we had mentioned, as part of maybe the worst record of a championship team coming in. He turned something around very early in the season, but like he says, he's there to win the championship. And, the problems they had early, as long as they weren't out of the playoff situation yet, they just hung with it, stayed with it, and, won the games when they had to win them, and that's what they did.
They were able to prove last week that a team that's noted for passing can run the football in bad conditions. But tonight they're going to have an opportunity to pass the football and run the football, because the wind conditions are almost ideal to throw. So let's go to their quarterback, number 2. Mr. Murray can throw the football.
Yes, he can. He's a big guy. He can drop back. He's 6'2". He can see out of the pocket. He also has shown ability to run the balls. He'll run the option. So what you have there is the versatility. Obviously, he can drop straight back. He can roll on you. And he's also effective running the football up the field. And he's got the strong arm, too. He can get the ball 35 yards down on the sideline. And anytime you have a quarterback that can do that, any coach will throw the football.
Catholic League Championship, the pregame show brought to you by The Gap and some of their 24 super locations. Let me just quickly touch on Mr. Sullivan, number 25, because he can also catch the football, the other half of that 1-2 punch.
That's right. He's an all-state player. He again, he's not a real big guy, 6'1" or 6'2", maybe not very big at 165, but he has he's like almost like the acrobatic ability that he can go up for the ball deep in with a lot of people around him and catch the ball. He's got great timing, great agility. Just a good darn football player and a great weapon to have.
Drew and I will be back with a final comment just before kickoff time here at Northeast High right after this.
Game between Northern winner Father Judge against Southern winner Cardinal O'Hara. I'm Hugh Gannon along with Drew Gordon and Don Henderson for tonight's championship game. And Drew, we saw a couple good semifinal games last week in which Bonner went down 18-3 to Cardinal O'Hara, and some observations on O'Hara.
That's right. O'Hara played excellent defense last week, and I think we mentioned it a couple times. It just so impressed their team defense, their speed. They got to the corners very well and were able to stop anything Bonner threw at them running-wise. And I would expect that that was a lot of the strategy involved, and that that'll be their key thing tonight.
And also, I would assume they'll put the ball up more than they did last Sunday in those gale force wins at Fed Stadium.
That's right. They have the all-state receiver in Sean Sullivan. They have a great quarterback in Murray. He looked very good before the game. He drops back and throws a deep sideline, and the wind won't be a factor tonight. I would expect them to throw the ball tonight. They 1-2 last week, and of course the wind wouldn't allow them.
Okay, Drew and Don, it was 14-0 in which Judge took Egan, scoring on a TD by Jerry Magallanes. They're all Catholic running back, and also a blocked field goal attempt late in the first half, which changed the game around. And Egan, I guess, to a degree, was a favorite, and they ended up in the short end of a 14-0 score. Judge the winner.
I'd say two things. Just as Drew said, defense was really the order of the day. When you shut out Egan, number one, you've done an outstanding job. You can't win any games if you don't score points. Number two, they were able to completely shut down Armstrong, who is just a great, great football player and is being sought after by so many schools around the Eastern Seaboard. And so I think those 2 points, I think the fact that they were able to convert, especially field goal opportunities when they blocked a field goal opportunity, and more importantly, position on the field. So important, and they were able to maintain that.
And also, too, Judge shut out its last two opponents, Wood 31-0, which was one of the top 10 ranked teams, and also shutting down Egan last week 14-0. So in the playoffs, they have not allowed a point.
Absolutely right, and I think this should be a good football game tonight because I'm just a believer that good defense is good football, and I think both of these clubs, and maybe Drew will concur with us, I just think good football is good defense, and I think that's what both clubs should display tonight.
Okay, thank you, Don Henderson and Drew Gordon. We'll be back with the opening kickoff after we pause for these words. From tonight's opening kickoff under a full moon, temperatures a little warmer than they were this afternoon when Frankfurt won the Public League title for the 8th time in the past 11 years as they defeated Washington by a score of 34-8 here at this very same field. And tonight, we have an unusual situation as Cardinal O'Hara is attempting to become the first Catholic League team in almost 35 years to win 3 straight Catholic League championships. Conversely, to Drew Gordon and Don Henderson, it's the team with the most losses ever to play for the Catholic League championship. They're 7-5.
That's right. Well, that's part of the result of the new setup they've had in the Catholic League since the last 35 years too, where teams can overcome the early losses, because of the split division and so forth, and still make the that playoff spot at the end. Father Judge had to win their last game of the season to make the 4th spot in the playoffs, and they've shut out everybody since then, and they're here tonight.
Well, Don, certainly last week when we thought that you had turned into an icicle down on the field at the vet, probably one of the colder days ever down there, and we did not see O'Hara put the football up, but I think for sure tonight, no winds. In fact, it's warmer tonight than it was this afternoon.
I'll tell you, I think you're absolutely right, Huey. It was a little bit cold, a little bit windy last week, but at the same time, I think we have to give Bob Ewing a lot of credit, too, because, there's a guy that had open heart surgery before the season began, and he's out there in some very cold weather. We have the toss at midfield right now. We'll have we'll get that toss for you in just a second, Drew.
Tonight,
we have the referee on right now. See if we can get some on the field information.
You'll be blue. Now you're the visiting team. Pull it in the air. If I drop it, I'll go again. Hey, tails! He called. It is a tail. He called outside. He called it tail.
Eddie Braun, the head official, no good buddy of mine, and we'll give the indication here that it appears the Lions have
will receive.
Wants the toss, and Father Judge will receive. They'll be given the option of what field to defend. Last Sunday at the vet, that was really important as we saw the young fella from Father Judge attempt not from Father Judge, but from Bonner, a 55-yard field goal, and the thing hit the crossbar and went the wrong way.
This coach is standing right next to us in the next booth over, and I'll tell you, we saw some outstanding punting at Veterans Stadium last weekend, both in the Army-Navy game and in the high school game. In fact, we saw exceptional kicking all weekend, and I'll tell you, I think one of the things about this game that's made it very, very interesting, again, we talked about field position on our opening remarks, and again, that's where the punting takes place.
Charged up Lions of Cardinal O'Hara, and they are out on the field as the Judge receivers are taking their position. Personally, I think this is going to end up a 10-7 football game, Drew Gordon. How do you view it?
10-7, I think I would tend to agree that after last week's games that both teams, their strengths seem to be on their defensive teams. O'Hara's just outstanding team defense last week, really shut down Bonner totally. And Judge, of course, 3 shutouts in a row coming in. They're not allowing anybody even down the field on them into the end zone. So I would tend to agree, except one thing O'Hara you have to watch this week, and they were not able to do last week, was throw the football. Danny Murray, good quarterback, Sean Sullivan, the all-state receiver. They couldn't do it last week, and it's something the Judge couldn't scout them on either.
Okay, throw fall to kick off for Cardinal O'Hara. And in Crusader red and Columbia blue, the Crusaders of Father Judge. We're underway with first quarter action. Ball takes one hop, and Jones loses the handle, finally picks it up at about the 10, running out of bounds and maybe stopped on about the 15-yard line. Let's see where the pin is. And we might have some indication here early on whether or not the Crusaders will be able to move the football against the big defensive wall of Cardinal O'Hara.
A little bit of a miscommunication back there. I think the Judge people had themselves confused who's going to field the ball, and Charles DeFeo from O'Hara made a nice got down field behind the wall of blockers, made a good tackle, and Judge is going to have the ball deep in their own territory now to start it off. Okay, so it's 1st and 10 for quarterback John Higgins. The 2 setbacks are Ken Jones and all-Catholic halfback Jerry Magallanes. And the slot back position, Ray Gambaroni. It's a quick toss. Magallanes cuts it back inside and appears to have about 3 or 4 yards. So the first carry is good for a couple. And the spot, as we count off white lines, 5, 10, it's only on about the 13-yard line, I think. Right, Drew? That's what I would say right now. They have 2nd and 7 right there. Again, they'll come out in their slot I formation with Magallanes, the deep back in the formation, and they like to toss the ball to him and let him go right or left.
Quarterback Higgins looking over the Lions defense. Gambaroni is going in motion from left to right. It's an inside handoff in absolutely nowhere. Probably just barely got back to the line of scrimmage Jones, and it'll bring up what we normally would refer to in the Pro Wars as a passing situation. But high schoolers this deep in their own territory, I would think Whitey Sullivan would be grateful to just get out of there with a good punt.
He's got 3rd and 4, and he's not afraid to give the ball to Magallanes again back in the slot formation, the I. They like to run the power I too once in a while, and they'll go off tackle with it.
Higgins, the quarterback, number 10 for Judge. It's a quick toss. Magallanes gets a block, cuts it back inside, and may have enough for the first down. Jim Donaghy making the hit, and it looks like he does have the first down. Drew, first down for Father Judge.
Boy, nice effort by Magallanes. He knew exactly what he needed. He did go off tackle on just the pitch back to him in the backfield, and he knew what he had to get there. He made that little move at the end and dove forward and knew that he needed that extra half a yard, the effort. Watch Magallanes at the end of the play from the ground level camera at the end here. He'll just dive forward, referee in the way there, but dove forward and got the first down.
Higgins calling 1st and 10. Fake to Magallanes. Gonna put it up over the middle. Has a receiver there and can't hang on. Intended for number 88, Mike Quinn.
Number 32, Anthony Stefani.
Stefani on the breakup of the play, but is right on the money, Drew, to win.
Hey, come out. That's a good call on first down. You wouldn't expect Judge to do that, especially even down on their inside the 30-yard line like that. And there's a lot of people out there, but they showed they weren't afraid to throw the ball on first down, and Stefani made a good defensive play.
Ulmer replaces Quinn at the end position. Quarterback Higgins calling 2nd and 10. Rolls back, looks over the middle, pump fakes, almost falls down, throws it out here on the right side. It is almost picked off by Donaghy. He would have had 6, Drew.
He sure would have, and I think he smelled it. They left Magallanes in motion, just come up the sideline and just drift out there by himself. He was, I'm sure, just a safety valve pass receiver on the play, and Donaghy had him on out of the corner of his eye, letting him maybe catch the short pass. But the quarterback, Higgins, got in trouble and then tried to throw well off balance. The ball just hung up there, and Donaghy, unfortunately for him, just dropped the football. He would have had 6, though.
Number 85, William Riley, checks back into the backfield and then takes the end position as Higgins is calling 3rd and 10. It's an inside handoff to Magallanes. Got 2 yards at best. A little bit of a hole, but not enough, and he'll bring up a punting situation. Here it comes again, Drew.
This is Magallanes on the motion out of the I-back position, and Higgins will drop back. Now, he gets a little trouble here, and he'll just throw the ball out there well off balance. And Dougherty comes up, and the ball hits him in the face mask. He broke the play up, but could have been a much better play for him.
Number 25, Sean Sullivan, and number...
So Father Judge will be punting to Cardinal O'Hara, standing back on his own 10-yard line. The judge punter gets it off, and it's a nice one. And it takes a bounce, and then it takes a Father Judge bounce, and the receiver for the punt, Sean Sullivan, gets away from the football. And the Lions of Cardinal O'Hara will put the ball in play in pretty decent field position. It's 0-0, 9:24 gone here in the first period. Will be wide side of the field to his left, and number 23 is Steve Gentile, and he's going to throw. It is almost complete. Passed off the receiver's shoulder, but a real good hit back there in the secondary, Drew.
That's right. It was just a little bit of a twins formation out there, and they ring Sullivan, the All-State wide receiver, to the inside. And tried to hit Verrica. It's going to the outside, just in a drag pattern. The ball's a little bit behind him. And Judge was all over the play anyway. Wouldn't have had much of a gain. Judge is right there, the ball behind the receiver, and goes incomplete.
So quarterback Dan Murray now has a 2nd and 10 situation. Inside handoff to Gentile. Has about 3 yards, maybe 4. And it'll bring up a 3rd and a long 6 for a first down.
And off to number 23, Steve Gentile.
0-0 in the first quarter. We're coming up to exactly the 9-minute mark, as this is a 3rd down call for quarterback Dan Murray. Has wide side of the field to his left, and the 2 setbacks are number 24 Jim Tolsky and number 23 Steve Gentile. Strong left, Murray to throw, has a receiver turned the pattern around, but the pass is near no one, as he was intending to hit Chris Verrica, and it will bring up a punting situation. And that quickly, Father Judge gets the ball back in about 18 seconds.
I would imagine some of the strategy there is to get Sullivan going to the inside and hoping the defense double and triple teams would hit the outside pattern. There's only a 2-man pass pattern. The only problem with it, if the outside man isn't open, now nobody else to go to, so Murray ends up with his first 2 passes going incomplete now, and Judge, as you say, gets the ball back in 18 seconds.
So Sean Sullivan will punt, takes it on the first hop, pretty good pressure. End over end, Judge is going to get it on the quick hop. That's Jerry Magallanes, and takes it out of bounds. And not bad field position at all, as Magallanes buried a couple of photographers on the sideline. But they're up, and so is number 23. So quarterback Higgins picks up about 20 yards in the exchange, and it's a heck of a lot better operating position offensively with 8:38 to go for quarterback Higgins for Father Judge. John Higgins, number 10, a junior. The up back is Jones. The deep back is Jerry Magallanes. Quick toss to Magallanes. Cuts back inside a block. Has room. Has 5. Has 10. Has more than the first down. Down that right sideline. And finally knocked out of bounds at the Cardinal O'Hara bench and a late flag. And it may bring it back.
The referee who threw the flag, Hugh, had to be 30 yards behind the play when he threw it, but he was chasing the play. He obviously saw something that happened, behind the runner, which is the type of block a coach just hates to see because it doesn't help anybody. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Just again, the quick pitch to Magallanes. He breaks it off tackle, gets outside that corner, and he has good speed, as he's showing right here. Okay, there's the block on number 7, the little push, and really a fruitless block because it wasn't going to help the runner at all.
So instead of having the ball about the 40-yard line of Cardinal O'Hara, the walk-off is back to the 39-yard line of Father Judge. So the illegal block moves the ball back, and it's still not in such bad field position on about the 39-yard line. 8:29 here in period number 1. This game is scoreless for the Catholic League Championship, as John Higgins, the quarterback, has wide side of the field to the left. The I formation set up. Inside handoff. Magallanes has about 2 yards.
Number 23, Jerry Magallanes on the carry.
Maybe enough for the first down, too. And again, Magallanes showing the good headiness of the...
That was enough for the first down, Drew.
Good smart runner. He knows, again, what he needs to get on the play, and he likes to break it to the outside, as we saw 2 plays ago, and he showed the speed to get around the corner, and that time, he knew what he had to get for the first down. He kept it to the inside and dove and runs low to the ground, too. He's always going to fall forward.
87, Frank Palmer is split wide to the left as Higgins tucked under center. Gambaroni is in motion. Drops back the pass. Seems to have enough time. Wide left. Gambaroni's there and makes a great catch. Good for the first down. Fine reception by slot back Ray Gambaroni. Moves the ball to about the 42-yard line of Cardinal O'Hara.
If we see that again, you'll see the defensive back gets turned around on the play and just loses his balance. Here it is right now. They're going to run motion with a slot back. Gambaroni coming wide to the outside. They'll run the deep receiver to the middle, the wide receiver. And watch the defensive halfback. He kind of gets turned around right there, slips down, and good pass by Higgins.
Back to live action. Higgins tosses it out to Jerry Magallanes. Cuts back into the block and gets about enough for the first down. Very, very close. Magallanes now down to about the 32 or 3-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, when everything's working, it pops right. Your timing, Judge's timing right now looks very, very good on the pass plays as well as the option play that time. Higgins does a nice job. Magallanes catches the block at the right time and makes his cut exactly. The timing was perfect. It picked up an extra 6-7 yards.
Higgins give to Magallanes coming from the slot back position by Bob Schaefer. Good play, Drew.
Bob Schaefer does a nice job that time. They did a little bit of counter reverse type in the backfield, and Schaefer got around his block. They were probably trapping somebody and double teaming down inside Schaefer, and he followed the trap block or the down block down into the play and was able to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Whitey Sullivan, the head coach of Father Judge, shuttling 2 and 3 players at a time. Quarterback Higgins gives inside to Jones, has 5, maybe about 6.
Handoff to number 40, Ken Jones.
Ken Jones, 6.5 minutes and counting down in the first period. Good drive underway here by Father Judge.
That's right. They're going left and right. They're going up the middle. We're going to see this the quick opener on from the ground level camera. Just a little bit of counter, and Jones gets through there very quickly and into the secondary for a nice gain.
3rd and 5, the call for quarterback Higgins. Again, wide side of the field to the left. The up back is a little switching going on. Here Ray Gambaroni goes into the slot back position. The up back again is Ken Jones. It's a give to Magallanes. Tries to get behind a block and probably had about a yard at best, and it'll bring up a 4th and about 4 for Father Judge.
The tight end looked like he moved there for Father Judge that time, but evidently got back and set in time. And again, they wanted the first down. No, Magallanes did off tackle right. Didn't get it, though. He comes up well short. He's about 3.5, almost 4 yards short of the first down. They're in a tough situation right now. They obviously have to go for it. 4th down. Big test for O'Hara's defense.
The ball's on the 25. They have to go to about the 22 for the first down. Let's see what the call is by quarterback Higgins. They may use Magallanes as a fake this time. Has the ball, cuts it outside, has 5, has 10. He's got a chance to go. Touchdown, Jerry Magallanes. No flags down. Father Judge takes a 6-0 lead.
What a great call. Just a super call at the line, whether he called the line of scrimmage or not, the option, a great call on that play. Get the ball to your best back, going wide to the outside, but the key guy, number 85, Billy Riley, we'll see it on the instant replay. What a great block he throws in the secondary to spring Magallanes for the touchdown. Judge again in that crazy formation. They'll try to do a little bit of deception, and they'll line up now and try to kick the extra point.
Ellis to attempt to make it 7. Down, up, and it is no good, no good. Ellis's kick was wide right, and with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the first quarter, it is Father Judge 6, Cardinal O'Hara 0. We'll be right back. And Don Henderson, before Father Judge gets a chance to kick off the Cardinal O'Hara, will run that touchdown run again on a 4th down call. Absolutely great movement on the part of Father Judge's Jerry Magallanes to give him a 6-0 lead.
Also, nice work by the quarterback Higgins, too, as he came out, faked the ball to the inside man, got it to Magallanes in good shape where he could handle the ball. It was out in front of him. And, of course, he had 2 great runs on that drive. One was brought back. And, of course, the touchdown run was just super.
Line drive picked up by Cardinal O'Hara. And that's Tulsky trying to get through and probably needed just about 1 or 2 more good blocks.
We'll have the touchdown coming up here right now, but again, keep your eye downfield on this block by Riley in the secondary. There's Magallanes, just a great block there, just leveled the man, and they had the first one anyway, but that enabled the touchdown.
So Cardinal O'Hara has the ball in superb field position on their own 46-yard line. We have 5 minutes left here in the first period. O'Hara's quarterback is Dan Murray. Gives it to the second back, and number 23, Steve Gentile, picked up about 4 or 5 yards, Drew. A quick hitter.
Sure was. Now O'Hara has to establish something offensive. They came out in the first series and threw 2 passes to the outside, incomplete, and the running play didn't work either, and they had within 18 seconds turned the ball right back over to Judge, and Judge came back on offense, mixed up their plays well, and had a nice long drive for the 6 points.
Murray dropping back to throw. Pressure's coming. There's a receiver wide open in the seam, and that's Sean Sullivan. Can he get a block down that left sideline? Makes the good run, gets to about the 34-yard line.
So Mr. Murray looked like a Division I quarterback on that play. I think he drops deep in this pocket like they do in the Division I, and Sullivan, again, the timing of the play, the deep hook pattern, just find the open zone, and Sullivan was wide open, only single coverage that time on him. Watch Murray, he's back deep now. He just wings it out there, right on the numbers to Sullivan, and Sullivan, he's a good receiver and showed right there he can run with the ball after he catches it.
First down. Ball spotted on the 34-yard line. Oh, the quarterback is hit immediately and loses about 7 yards. Did not see that number. Neither did Dan Murray, the quarterback.
Tackled by number 71, Dominic Sabato.
Sabato. No one could have laid a glove on him, Drew.
Dominic Sabato, there was a little bit of a counteraction by Murray on the option, which is a delay thing. It's supposed to freeze the linebackers, but they didn't freeze Sabato at all. He came through there.
Murray back to throw. Falls down. That's it. That's it. The play is dead in high school football when a quarterback or a player's knee touches. So now they're back even further, almost in midfield. The spot will be about the 46-yard line. The field was a little muddy. We were on it earlier today.
47-yard line.
It's probably pretty hard, too, I would imagine, out there now by this time of the night, almost 8 o'clock here at the game, and just going to have to be careful as he sets up again.
Verica and number 25, Sean Sullivan, split to the right side of the field. Over the middle, and it's dropped by number 23, Steve Gentile. Not a bad call. Put your wide receivers and your threats on the right-hand side and come back over the middle. Nobody there, but the player dropped the ball.
That's right. Whether he had enough room or enough yardage to pick up a first down, we would have had to have seen him catch the ball first, but he looked a little hesitant coming out of the backfield. The ball is not as well thrown as I'm sure Danny Murray would like to have had it thrown, but anyway, it's incomplete, and O'Hara's going to have to punt the ball away again.
Sean Sullivan standing on his own 37, 38-yard line. High snap, has to back up. Pressure's coming, almost blocked. Magallanes calling for the fair catch, loses the football. A lot of folks from Cardinal O'Hara diving in there, but the way it looks, it probably belongs to Judge, and it does.
Magallanes fumbles. Judge recovers.
So Father Judge, let's take a look at the third down play again.
Okay, Murray comes back, and he's going to hit Gentile, trying to come out of the backfield. Ball a little bit thrown behind.
And the linebacker, too, number 55, had fallen down. That would have probably been maybe a 20-yard pickup. So for Father Judge with a 6-0 lead here in the first period, but deep in their own territory. Higgins, number 10, the quarterback, tosses it out to Magallanes. Good inside-outside move, and Jerry Magallanes is brought down by number 9 from Cardinal O'Hara, and that's Charles DeFeo, but picks up about 7 or 8 yards.
When he set the block up perfectly that time, he received a good block by number 85 again, Billy Riley, who threw the great block on that touchdown. And again, Magallanes has that's good sense of timing. Watch on the ground level. This will come right into your camera now. And Magallanes throws the move right there, and there's the block. It gets him another 4 or 5 yards.
All right, I'll bring up a 2nd and 2. Back to live action. Magallanes cuts up the gut, has the first down. And as always, go to your bread and butter back, picking up the first down. So it's a first down now for Judge. And again, Coach Whitey Sullivan with 2 and 3 player substitutions at all time. 2:15 and counting here in the first quarter. 87, Frank Omer is split wide left. Higgins sends Gambaroni in motion. I formation. With the football, tucks it in, has 5, has 10, has a chance to go all the way, but is brought down at the 44-yard line. Quarterback Higgins with a big gainer. Again, I guess they're keying on Magallanes. Kept the ball himself. Did not look like he was even going to toss the ball out there, Drew.
Mr. Higgins showed some great speed that time, too, as he just took off. He read the option play perfectly. They took the pitch back away from him, and he turns it upfield. No hesitation. He just goes, and he turns it on. Gets a good block on the corner there and shows great speed.
Franchitti with the touchdown-saving tackle. About 90 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Gambaroni going a motion from right to left. Magallanes falls down, and Higgins loses 2 yards. Again, a little bit of mud, and the footing is not the best here this evening, and that's what happened.
That's the same spot Danny Murray fell at, too, when he dropped back to throw a couple of series ago for O'Hara. You know, the field is probably a little muddy and crusty from this afternoon's football game. So, again, the players are going to have to be very conscious of that. Which Magallanes, a tailback, he just never gets started here. His foot goes out from under him as Higgins turns.
That was really strange. Gambaroni started in motion, fell down. Jones was going to block the play and fell down. And Magallanes as well. And then the quarterback had to take the 2-yard loss. Back to throw. Higgins slips but gets up. Throws it long. Ulmer can't get to the football, runs into the defending back, but no offensive interference. And 45 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
Great coverage that time by Cardinal O'Hara back there. Number 32, Tony Stefani. He was right there on the pattern, on the tight end, going deep down the middle. Never gave him a chance to even get into the pattern that he wanted to run.
So it's 3rd and 12 for quarterback Higgins. The ball just about a 48-yard line of Cardinal O'Hara, and they're on the short end of a 6-0 score. Higgins with the football to Magallanes, and has nowhere to go. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, met by 3 or 4 Lions of Cardinal O'Hara.
I think O'Hara may have known what play was coming that time. They just had all kinds of defensive people there on the corner, and Magallanes had no place to run at all.
Number 7, Donaghy, and Sean Sullivan, number 25, are back to take the punt, standing on about their own 15-yard line.
And number 7, James Donaghy. Punting for the Crusaders, number 42, Pat Waninger.
Waninger to punt, standing on his own 40, left-footed leg, end over end. Sullivan watches it take 1-2 bounces. Good Father Judge roll. And we'll be down on the 11-yard line, Drew. Again, O'Hara, bad field position. 28 ticks left here in the first quarter.
That's right. The big run by Higgins certainly gave Judge great field position. The fact they were forced to punt, though, and having a good field position, and O'Hara's inability to field the punt, Judge picked up an extra 15 yards on the roll.
So Dan Murray, knowing that his team is down by a touch, and with the ball on the 11-yard line, does not have a lot of options here. Tolsky and Gentili, quarterback Murray with the football, has 5, has 10, has a first down, or pretty darn close to it. Appears to have more than enough for the first down. Nope. Yes, it is. 14 seconds and counting, doubtful if they'll get this playoff. So Dan Murray calls his own number. 5-4.
There's a replay of Murray's run. This is a good play right here at the deep in your own territory. Is he able to turn the option upfield and pick up first down?
And as we thought that Cardinal O'Hara would not get a playoff, and at the end of 12 minutes of play from Northeast High School Field here in Philadelphia, Cardinal O'Hara 0 and Father Judge 6. We'll be right back in seconds. Dan Murray will call the play for Cardinal O'Hara. And we'll put the ball with 1st and 10. The spot is on about the 22-yard line of Cardinal O'Hara. Long way to go, Jose.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think the officials were waiting for us up here for the television people to get those commercials in, but they're stating that Murray wants to get started now. He just had a big first down, and they want to get some momentum going offensively and demonstrate their ability to move the football.
24 and 23, the 2 setbacks. Murray with the football, takes it wide. A lot of blue shoop. What a vicious hit he took there for a... They lost the football. I didn't even see it come loose, Drew. and number 73 picked up the football.
Mark Archie Diacono. He looked like, I think he took the football away from Murray on the tackle itself, because we never saw the ball come loose at all. But as you mentioned, just a vicious tackle, and the difference there is that, when you string the option out like that, you get no downfield blocking at all. It's got to happen quickly, and you'll get all kinds of light blue jerseys will make the tackle on him. We'll see that after this play. The
Higgins with 1st and 10, deep in O'Hara territory. Has the football. Can he get a block from Gambaroni, and trips over Gambaroni's feet, but still picks up about 7 yards.
We'll get the replay right now coming up, I believe, on the fumble by Murray. And again, I believe Archidiacono just takes the ball out of Murray's hands on the tackle. We're not going to get it this time. But anyway, Higgins again on the option. He picks up a good 7 yards. Judge with a good opportunity here to get another touchdown and go up by 2.
Wynn is split wide to the right. Quarterback Higgins calling here on the 2nd down play to Magallanes. Has the 1st down inside and trips down to about the 4. 1st down for Father Judge on about the O'Hara 4-yard line.
Here's the replay we were showing on Murray's fumble. Now he'll come down and it gets strung out here, and now there's going to be all kinds of defensive people.
I think when the player hit Murray, just rolled right over and took the football with him.
It looks like that. And again, a big break for Judge, though, and now 2 good running plays on 1st and 2nd down, and they've got a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, threatening to go up by 2 touchdowns right now.
Higgins has wide side of the field to his left. The up back is Jones. It's a give to Magallanes. There's a gaping hole. Touchdown, Judge! Oh! A truck could have gone through there for a touchdown. And the down lineman on that left side, Bob Reedy, Tom McHugh, and center Tim O'Hanlon opened up a gaping hole. This is 12-0.
Super work by the 2 quarterbacks, Ace. First of all, when you talk about Higgins and Murray, both of them have been running that option play. Both of them doing it effectively. However, Murray fumbling the football, set it up in beautiful position. And here you'll see a replay of the play as Higgins hands it off. Magallanes goes right in.
A monster hole to give them a 12-0 lead. And again, the game being won in the trenches by the offensive line of Father Judge. They're really pumped up here now, but they're going for 2. Wide side of the field, and Gambaroni is in motion again. Higgins rolling to his right, under a bit of pressure, throwing. It is caught! Good for the 2 points. And the Jerry Magallanes, who scored the TD, gets the 2 points, and it's 14-0 Father Judge.
Okay, Mr. Magallanes again, he's showing it all tonight. He comes out there, and Higgins again playing a super game. He just rolls right here, sprints out, and he's just looking for somebody in the end zone right now, nobody in particular, and he finds Magallanes, who came out of the backfield right at the goal line, and Magallanes does a nice job there coming back to the football.
Right.
The pass is thrown low, no chance for it being knocked down.
And again, when he was hit, he was knocked back to the 1-yard line, but because he broke the plane, it's 2 points.
Number 2, Dan Murray. Number 35, John Martino.
Dan Murray, the quarterback, is in deep position awaiting this kick, but Judge is really pumped up. Murray has to go back to his own 8-yard line. Uh-oh, little trickery to Sean, to number 35, and they're waiting for the play. That was a bizarre, wild lateral to John Martino. In fact, they may have lost yardage from the spot where they threw the ball laterally.
The first sign, obviously, is Murray deep on the kickoff, okay, that something is up, and he comes down. Now, that play has more of a chance of working if he's on the left hash mark and is throwing 40 yards across the field. He was in the middle of the field, and again, the pass wasn't even that accurate. Martino had to go back and get the football. Judge had plenty of time to react.
So quarterback Danny Murray now down 14-0. Pressure is coming. Throws down the middle. There's a receiver, but it's overthrown. Going for number 30, Chris Verica, junior wide receiver.
The one pass play, we might have the replay again, but the one pass play that was successful for O'Hara before was a deep curl. We'll get back to that in a second. Here's Murray. He's in the middle of the field. He's only going to throw the ball, and it's behind Martino, who has to go back, catch the ball. The judge
Exactly where through the lateral from is where Martino was able to go. Oh, another vicious hit up front. When I say vicious, strong, hard hitting, nothing dirty at all about him, but they are drilling Lions all over the place.
There is vicious, good gang tackling, good hard football going on out there again. As we were saying before, Murray, the one pass he was successful with is when he dropped back and hit the curl pattern or the deep button hook, and every other pass play so far has been trying to hit somebody deep on a sideline or short on a sideline, and Judge is doing a good job of covering it.
3rd and 9, the quarterback call for Dan Murray. Has all day to throw. To look over 6 receivers. Completes to Sean Sullivan down the right sideline. But Crusaders are there and knock him out of bounds on about the 34. Or make that the 38.
So Mr. Sullivan can catch the football. That was a well-thrown pass by Murray, too, because he had to get it over the linebacker's head and had the touch to get it back down. And Sullivan went very high for the football. And again, showing why he's first team All-State. He did a lot with the football after he caught it.
Catch that again with quarterback Dan Murray, number 2 in dark for O'Hara.
Sullivan has trouble getting loose here early at the line of scrimmage. He just goes over the middle of the field. Again, a great pass and catch. Good block on the corner, and
Murray throwing it up again, and as good quarterbacks will do, we may have a little offensive interference right here. Or rather make that defensive interference. Somebody chucked the wide receiver, number 30, Verica, and it was number 42, Jimmy Butler for Father Judge.
Defensive pass interference.
Eddie Braun's call.
Defensive pass interference, Judge.
Interference the call. And it's a first down. The spot is now on the 30-yard line. O'Hara on the move. 9:35 and counting here in the second period.
Last pass completion to Sullivan is good for 35 yards.
Right side of the field for quarterback Dan Murray. Gets a fine block. Throws it deep on the money. And tumbling down to the 2-yard line, Cardinal O'Hara's number 24, Jim Tulsky. Boy, wide open football, Drew.
He sure was. It's just great to see these kids do it, too. And Murray has demonstrated his ability to put the ball in the air accurately and move his team.
So O'Hara will have the ball on exactly the 5-yard line from the 30, a 25-yard completion, pass and run.
Here's the replay of it. Again, Tulsky wide open behind the linebackers and a good pass right over the shoulder.
Back to live action. Murray to throw. No good, no good. Incomplete. Was out of bounds. It looked like number 24. That was Jim Tulsky. Incomplete.
Murray chose to run to the sprint out to the short sideline that time on a drag pattern to the outside, and just not enough room. He had to throw the ball real quick, wasn't able to.
You got to give that offensive line a little bit of credit for O'Hara too, because even though they're getting the deep drop by Murray, he's getting time to throw the football.
So quarterback Dan Murray has wide side of the field to the left. Drops back and hands it off to Tulsky, cuts it back inside, and a fine play by number 86 on defense, and that's John Hart, who went about 60 yards last Sunday with a blocked field goal attempt.
86, John Hart.
Timeout being called by Cardinal O'Hara. 9 minutes, 6 seconds remaining here in the first half. And it's Judge 14, O'Hara 0. We'll be right back.
With you how well coached O'Hara is, and I think this is another indication they dropped behind 14-0. They are really on top of their game. Even here, they called the timeout to be sure they had the right play on a very critical 3rd down and goal to go.
That's right. You're exactly right. The 3rd down now, they just tried 2 plays that failed, and they don't want to lose the momentum they've just gained driving way down the field.
And as we say, it's a big 3rd down play for quarterback Dan Murray. Dropping back, has plenty of time. There's a receiver wide open. Sullivan, touchdown! What a grab by Sean Sullivan. No wonder he's all Catholic. And it's 14-6.
What a great play. Again, Murray drops back. He gets great protection. He just looks like a Division I quarterback. He didn't have a whole lot of room out there. And Sean Sullivan, again, the great diving catch and getting the foot back down. He was close to being out of bounds.
Mike Threlfall will attempt to cut the margin to exactly half. It's 14-6 in favor of Father Judge. The snap, the pin, and looks good. It is good. So with exactly 9 minutes and 1 second left here in the first half, Judge 14 and O'Hara 7, and they're back in the hunt. We'll be right back.
And Murray to Sullivan, what a combination, Don. You know, that whole last drive they had up, just down the field, great catches, great passes, and good blocking.
Drew, I think the other thing is that both teams have really gone to their strength. You watch Sullivan make this diving catch. We saw Magallanes a few minutes ago on the touchdowns. First, the big run going to our left, the second time going right through the middle. Now we see Sullivan just an all-league, all-state player, and the two big players are making the big plays.
Throw fall, takes a bounce, takes two. That's a live football, but it's finally picked up by Magallanes. Stays on his feet, down that right sideline, and knocked out of bounds on about the 44-yard line. And boy, brother, you talk about wide-open high school football. This is it this evening. What a great game at the moment.
But you're seeing wide open, too, and you're seeing good execution, though. It's not, you're not seeing it by mistakes, people slipping or fumbles or interceptions. You're seeing good, two well-drilled offensive teams going up and down the field against each other, who are both really more known for their defense.
1st and 10, the ball on the 45-yard line. Dan Higgins, the quarterback, flips it out to Magallanes. He falls down, loses 2 yards. And again, they're in that portion of the field where it's extremely muddy. And again, if Higgins is thinking about throwing the football, he cannot drop straight back. Probably the better idea would be to roll to your own left or right and stay away from that center field area.
We've seen both teams have a lot of trouble out there, and running backs as well as the quarterbacks. And you're right, you've got to make sure your play selection adapts to the conditions of the field as well as to what the defense is dictating.
In motion is Ray Gambaroni. Quarterback Higgins pulls it back to Magallanes, and there's nobody there, and he loses a couple of yards. Good play by Tony Stefani, number 32.
That's the first time O'Hara's been able to string that option out without letting somebody upfield or without letting the quarterback make an early decision in the play, which is the ideal thing for the option, to be able to determine who's going to carry the ball quickly before the defense can pursue over. And that time O'Hara strung it out real well, and Stefani coming up in the corner wouldn't be blocked, was able to make the tackle on the sideline.
Frank Ulmer, number 87, comes in with a play to Higgins from head coach Whitey Sullivan. Wide side of the field to the left for quarterback Higgins on a 3rd and 16. Magallanes is in motion this time. Higgins straight back, no pressure at all. Down the middle, wide open, and it's too long. All alone was Ulmer, number 87. That should have been 6 points, but just slightly overthrown, and quarterback Higgins had plenty of time, Drew.
He sure did. It was a great call, and right now you have Herrick and DeFeo, the two defensive backs for Cardinal O'Hara, speaking to each other, trying to find out who blew the coverage. Obviously a blown coverage on the play. Somebody's got to be in center field, and Judge almost got away with a cheap one.
And number 35, John Martino.
Martino, number 35. Sean Sullivan, number Roniger punts. And Sullivan leaves it take one bounce, two, and gets away from the football. But deep into O'Hara territory on the 12-yard line, we have an injured player at midfield.
Here's a replay of the last pass play, and watch Higgins. He's just going to drop straight back here, and his tight end will release, and he's all alone down the middle of the field. I think Higgins thought he had 6 on it easy, just too far.
Drew, another thing I like about the play there, they don't waste time with play action on that play. They go right to it, get the quarterback back. Higgins in good shape to get the ball away. I like that. I just don't understand that play action when you know you're in a passing situation.
We have an injured Judge player on the field right now out in the middle of the field on that last punt. He's being attended to. But again, O'Hara's going to have the ball deep in their own territory. They got 45, 47-yard punt that time, because of the roll. And O'Hara, I don't think, has fielded a punt tonight. They've let everything bounce in front of them, and for Judge, they're getting an extra 15, 20 yards out of the roll, and to compensate that, sometimes you put an extra third guy back there, cover the field better, especially when you have a hard field like that. You're going to get a lot of roll.
We talked last week about these two clubs and the lack of turnovers. We had Murray on that one fumble a few minutes ago, but when you think of the championship caliber play that they had at Vet Stadium last week and here at Northeast, I think you really have to give these clubs a lot of credit. They are not turning the football over. They are taking and protecting that football and doing an excellent job.
Jeff Kenny was injured on the play. Back to live action. First down call, inside handoff. Not much running room at all for number 23, and that's Steve Gentile. Probably picked up 2 or 3 yards.
Again, O'Hara, not having a tremendous play selection right now. They're inside their own 20-yard line at about the 18, or inside their own 15-yard line. They're at about the 13.
So the ball is spotted on about the 13-yard line as quarterback Dan Murray. Tulski is 24, Gentile's 23. Rolling to his own right, cuts back inside and loses yardage. So it'll bring up, maybe picked up about a yard at best. Bring up a 3rd and long 6 for quarterback Dan Murray. Dunley in on the hit for Father Judge. 6.5 minutes and counting here in the first half. 14-7 lead enjoyed by Father Judge as wide side of the field comes Sean Sullivan's 25, Erica's number 30. Inside handoff and maybe enough for the first down, number 24, Jim Tulski, depending on the spot.
It's a shame he stumbled a little bit at the end of the play there. He was tripped up and just couldn't get that foot down one more time to be able to get his balance and dive forward for the first down. I think it's a little bit short.
Time for a measurement. Nice field shot by our camera crew. Looks like enough. Eddie Braun indicates it is. First down. Not a bad call. Put all your speed receivers wide side left and quickly banged it up the middle.
Got a great effort that time, too, by Jimmy Tulski, the 5'11". He only weighs 165 pounds, a junior. Last week, he rushed the ball 10 times for 35 yards, and it's a little bit like 3.5 yards a carry, so good guy to give the ball to in 3rd and short.
Sullivan and Verica split wide left. Quarterback Murray tucks under center. Inside handoff on the delay, cutting back against the grain. This is potential touchdown. Number 24, Tulski, has to cut back inside. Good pursuit, still on his feet, and picks up about 50 yards. All the way down to the 22-yard line.
Jim Tulski.
55 yards, it looks on the run. Tulski, again, it was a counter type of draw play where they showed the twins formation, and they come back, and Tulski, he goes back against the grain against everybody and shows great speed. Again, only 5'11", 165 pounds, but made a great move also in the secondary when he got deep down the field and picked up an extra 10 yards.
Down call by Dan Murray. Pressure coming from the backside. Rolls out. Has plenty of time. In the end zone, it is picked off. Intercepted Father Judge. Just when Cardinal O'Hara was on the move. Interception by Judge in the end zone. Number 33 for Father Judge. Defensive halfback Ed Bambino.
Here's the play run by Tulski. He just goes back against the grain and shows great speed, gets up the sideline. Watch this move here to cut back and pick up an extra 10 or 15 yards on that, just being able to do that there. But unfortunately for Murray, he just had an interception.
Quick toss to Magallanes. Tries to cut back in the block. Inside that block and perhaps picked up maybe as much as 5 yards. Well, I'll tell you what, they put the ball in play so hurriedly, we're not having a chance to show you any of these great replays. They must be calling these things in about 6 seconds.
About the interception that Murray had, though, he had to scrim a little bit at the end of the play. He had his tight end open deep in the end zone. He just waited too long to throw the ball, giving Judge a little bit of a chance, and the receiver no more room to run deep in the end zone, and Judge made a great interception.
2nd and 5, the call for Higgins. Gambaroni in motion. Higgins with the ball, gives it inside, probably about a 2 or 3 yard pickup. Not quite enough for the first down. Ken Jones went right up the gut. And again, we talk about key 3rd down calls. 3rd and 1 here. O'Hara had the momentum going. They trailed 14-0, got back 14-7, and looked like they were going to make it tied. But unfortunately, do not have the football. Big 3rd down call here for Father Judge. Exactly 4 minutes to go in the half. Magallanes has the football. Do not know whether he has the first down. Stops the clock with 3:57 to go. First down is the call. Magallanes does pick up the first.
I think everybody in the stadium, including the people up here and down the field, knew who was going to get the football that time, and just a matter if he was going left or right with it.
1st and 10, the call for quarterback Higgins. Magallanes in motion from right to left. Higgins sets up over the middle, has a receiver temporarily free, completed pass. And good enough for the first down. The big number 88, Gwynn. Nice curl pattern there, Drew, and was clear, but fortunately, the name of the game is you've got to have time to set up and throw the football.
Exactly right. All the pass patterns look well executed, well run when the quarterback has the time, but what Judge is doing is they're sending the man in motion and allowing the secondary to adjust, and it gives Higgins a chance to pick out his receiver right before the play.
Quick toss to Magallanes. Cannot find a block, and a lot of folks show in a hurry for the Lions.
We're going to get the instant replay now. Magallanes is going to go in motion. He's at the top of your screen. He'll go in motion, and watch the rotation. We can't see all of it by the secondary of O'Hara, and that just allows the linebackers just take off and leaves no under coverage at all, and no defensive back can cover that.
You saw Gwynn at the bottom of your screen just do a straight curl, or whatever that is. 2:40 and counting here in the first half. It's a fake. Higgins to throw, has a receiver wide open, on the money to Gambaroni, cuts it back inside, still on his feet, loses the football, O'Hara takes over. Recovering the fumble after the big completion, Gambaroni, and a bit slow getting up was number 8, Sam Schaefer. Franchetti recovers for Cardinal O'Hara.
Number 21, Gambaroni, does a super job of catching the ball and getting upfield very quickly. He had the motors in 4th, 5th gear at that time, overdrive. Watch him get upfield. He'll catch a ball at the bottom of your screen here. Watch him just get upfield very quickly into the secondary. Good tackle from behind by Schaefer and a recovery by O'Hara. The momentum swings back the other way.
Murray to throw. Plenty of time, going for the whole ball of wax. Sullivan's picked off again. Another interception by Father Judge. And out of bounds on about the 46-yard line. The interception by number 12 for Father Judge. And that's Greg Gallagher. Another big break for Father Judge.
Yeah, we talked about turnovers, and now we've had 3 turnovers on 3 successive series. 1 interception in the end zone. 2nd interception brought out to the midfield stripe, and of course the fumble. So we've seen 3 turnovers on 3 successive series.
Replay here, Sullivan does not come back from the football when it's underthrown. He's gone downfield, and Gallagher does a super job of getting the ball at the high point. He just cuts in front and gives Judge the football back.
Live action. Higgins double fakes, and it's completed to Gwynn. First down, Father Judge into Cardinal O'Hara territory to about the 36-yard line.
Okay, for a team that prefers to run Magallanes out of the backfield in the power eye, when they go to their passing game, they're well coached and well drilled at it. They execute it well. Higgins showing tremendous amount of poise back there. So he hangs it in the pocket that time, double fake, triple fake, until he found his tight end open, Gwynn. And when he did, he drilled the ball in for a first down.
Checking back into the huddle for Father Judge is number 85, William Riley. So it's a first down call for Higgins. Again, Magallanes in motion, a lot of rotation, inside handoff. It's 5, it's 10, still on his feet. Judge may have a touchdown. Score, Jones! Kenny Jones, touchdown, Father Judge.
That's just great effort there. Time, individual effort, good blocking up front, Don and Hugh, and Jones he wouldn't be denied. He wanted the touchdown.
Again, we've seen Jones on a couple of occasions, and there's another one where they put Magallanes in motion again, and last time they put Magallanes in motion, as you pointed out, Drew, it left some great room out here on the near side, and they passed off that formation. This time, on the delay, they gave it to Jones, and he just broke the thrill, and then it was a foot race from there on in.
With just 97 seconds remaining here in the first half, Kenny Jones has given Judge a 20-7 lead. It is now 21-7 as the extra point is good. With a timeout on the field, 1:37 remaining here in the first half. Judge 21, O'Hara 7. We'll be right back. And 1:37 remaining here in the first half as Father Judge will kick off the Cardinal O'Hara. Martino, number 35, one of the deep backs. End over end. Martino has the football on the 8-yard line. A wall of Lions in front of him. And finally, an open field tackle there by Father Judge, spinning him down on about the 34-yard line. Let's see that touch again.
Watch Jones again. He's just going to go right up the middle. Good blocking there at the point of attack. Bust off things, and he sees the goal line. He's just not going to be denied. It's a foot race, and he wins it easily.
So Father Judge with a commanding, at least at the moment, 14-point lead. Exactly 90 seconds to go as Dan Murray drops back. Plenty of time to throw. Going deep And it's going to be picked off again by Father Judge. Dan Murray, and you're an old quarterback, Drew Gordon. You played at McDevitt and also at Villanova. You've got to be losing a little bit of confidence right now.
Yeah, right now, and what he's doing, that seemed to be a little bit of, he just threw the ball that time into an open area where the receiver was going, and it doesn't seem to be reading the defense at all. The passes they were successful with the exception of the one great catch by Sullivan, were the deep button hooks, and, where the receiver stops, you drill the ball in there. Everyone he's hung up so far has been picked off.
Gambaroni in motion from right to left with the football's quarterback Higgins. Has 5, has 7. Looked like he was going to make a heck of a lot more, but falls down. But again, Drew, transition. They intercept the football, and you turn around, the offense already has the play called.
Okay, here's my heat. Again, the ball just hangs up there. There's all kinds of blue jerseys around, and when you're throwing into those seams like that, and you have deeper coverage than your receiver is, you've got to drill the football in a line, and it's got to be right on target.
So Gallagher intercepts, and quarterback Higgins calls timeout. 57 seconds remaining here in the half. Judge 21, O'Hara 7. We'll be right back.
Football, there's only 57 seconds to go here before halftime, and momentum going to right now. They lead 21-7.
Gambaroni in motion. No, now he sets up in the slot position. Now he comes back the opposite way. A lot of goofy rotation going on, and maybe O'Hara jump. Let's see what the call is. And the procedure call goes against Father Judge. It'll bring up, instead of a 2nd and 4, a 2nd and 9. The ball on about the 44-yard line of Cardinal O'Hara. It will be moved back to about the 49.
Again, they had O'Hara's secondary and linebackers running all over the place that time. Then the reason they were as much as confused as it was illegal procedure.
Second down.
I think Cardinal O'Hara, for the first time, showing a little bit of impatience. They tried to get the ball down the field a little too quickly and really have given Judge a great opportunity now to open things up.
Higgins tosses to Magallanes, but a lot of dark shirts there, and he cuts back inside and probably picks up about 2 yards at best. It'll bring up a 3rd and 7 call, and quickly, Judge calls timeout. I do believe they still have 1 left to go. 48 seconds remaining here in the first half. Higgins comes over to talk to Whitey Sullivan. Wait a minute. I saw 2nd string quarterback Hardigan warming up, and he is in the football game.
One of two things: either Higgins may have suffered a slight injury that we didn't see, or they might be a coaching strategy right there to get your 2nd string quarterback in now in case you need him at in the second half sometime. If you have a 21-7 lead, there's not that much time left. Made him get him in there, warmed up, and used to the game conditions in case you have to go to him.
So number 11, Hardigan, the quarterback, as Higgins is out of the football game. Why, we don't know at the moment. Hardigan, number 11, 48 seconds left to go. It's 3rd and 7. Gambaroni in motion, down the line, inside handoff, ball is loose. It's O'Hara football with 43 seconds to go here in the first half.
One of the comments you made earlier about Murray on the interception, he's had a few tonight, and now's the time, and it's difficult for a 16, 17-year-old guy to understand it. Sometimes you have to wait till you're 21. He has to forget that. That doesn't matter now anymore. He has a chance now to come back, and if he has those interceptions on his mind, he'll throw the ball with hesitation. He's got to understand, that he has 43 seconds to go. He is a good passer. He's demonstrated that. Get the ball down the field, and as Don said, don't hang it. Don't be impatient. Drive the ball down the field.
Just 43 seconds left to go. Murray gives it inside, and unfortunately for O'Hara, that play went absolutely nowhere as Tulski is dropped for about a 2-yard loss.
Interesting as you watch coaching strategies.
32 seconds remaining, and O'Hara calls timeout.
Interesting when you watch coaching strategies go, if Hardigan, assuming he was in the football game, to get used to the game conditions, the fumble there was just a bad exchange, and it was Hardigan just didn't get the ball into the halfback's stomach area for the option to be run properly, and then when he left it there, the exchange was poor. Many times the timing of the play is bad, though, when you have a quarterback coming into the game cold like that, not used to playing a whole lot.
There's a young man on the bench with a cover around his shoulders, and a lot of the starters on offense came over to talk to him, which would indicate that's Higgins. And Hardigan will be the quarterback, it would appear, the rest of the way as he's working out with Kenny Jones immediately to our left.
We're watching Mr. Hardigan warm up on the sidelines, and right now he's practicing handoffs. And again, that's something, good idea to do.
Our camera crew is getting in position. We'll be able to get a shot of Higgins perhaps as we're back to live action. Quarterback Murray under pressure, throws it wide left. Nobody there. It'll stop the clock. But it also will bring up a 3rd and 13.
It is number 10, quarterback Higgins, who's had a fine first half. And again, it looks like he's pointing to his elbow right now. And he may have taken a hard fall on the turf out there and jammed it or whatever. But hopefully he's not out of the game for Father Judge's sake, and at least for the second half.
So Higgins is down at the moment, and Hartigan will go at quarterback. Well, even with the stoppage of play, 26 seconds left here in the first half, O'Hara decides they need to talk it over, and quarterback Murray goes over to talk with Bob Ewing, the head coach. They're far from out of it. In fact, with the score 14-7, going downfield for the equalizing score, and an interception in the end zone killed the drive, which could have equalized this game. But obviously the Crusader cheerleaders are very happy because it's 21-7.
Huey, when you say O'Hara's not out of it, exactly right. When you have a quarterback like Murray and a receiver like Sullivan who's got over 1,000 yards for the season, you're not out of this football game. And forgetting what they may do in this last 26 seconds of the first half, they're going to come out, regroup, ready to go in the second half, and they can strike from any place on the field.
17 seconds to go in the first half.
He just aired it out that time. Murray did. That's no big deal right now. He tried to get everything he could on the play, and again, Judge was playing it perfectly. They had 2-3 people back on defense.
Vampino, number 33, with another interception in that deep secondary, but as we discussed only seconds before, the deep people were dropping back even further. They had 25 yards back there, and Murray really didn't have anyone to hit. Kind of a desperation pass, but still they're in the hunt. It's only 21-7, but Judge fired up, certainly on defense, and moving the ball well offensively. Hartigan, the quarterback, number 11. It's a give to Magallanes, coming over that right side, probably picked up about 4 or 5 yards. A flag. It looked like somebody started a bit early for Father Judge. Procedure, the call probably against Judge.
Illegal procedure, backfield in motion against Father Judge at time. Only 12 seconds to go in the first half, and Judge sitting rather comfortably on a 21-7 lead. But nevertheless, it's a very exciting first half, and what turned out to be hardly any turnovers in the first quarter into the second, all of a sudden turned into a ball going back and forth. O'Hara especially throwing a few interceptions there, and Judge fumbling the ball 2 times.
The clock starts as Eddie Braun drops his arm, and Hartigan will not get a playoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the first half from Northeast High School Field here in Philadelphia, with a score: Father Judge 21, O'Hara 7. Hugh Gannon along with Drew Gordon and Don Henderson. Don will be handling the play-by-play in the second half, and we'll be back with a recap of the first half after we pause for these words.
Right now, I'd have to say, Drew, the team with the more weapons. Judge has had great running from Magallanes. They've also had great opportunities for Higgins to move the ball through the air. So I'd say 2 options against 1, the leader.
That's right, and for sure, and I think the first half statistics would bear it out, and Judge has to have 2 or 3 times as many yards on offense, I think, than O'Hara has, and the score indicates it too. They're 21-7 here at halftime, and O'Hara, who looked so good in the first quarter throwing the football, kind of fell apart on in the second quarter. Murray hung the ball a few times, was picked off. Judge, great defense, and I'll tell you, the tenacity, the hitting out there is tremendous. It's caused some fumbles. I think both offensive lines have done well. But Judge has had more consistency, have been more successful, I think, doing all the things they do well, and that is run the ball inside and outside well. But Higgins has been a big surprise this afternoon, I think, or this evening. He's throwing the ball extremely well, and that's a big part of their offense right now.
And, of course, he went out just before halftime. We'll have to see what happens in the second half. But at the same time, O'Hara a little bit impatient. They were down there knocking on the door with a chance to tie it up at 14 all. And before they knew it, they were down 21-7.
That's right. They threw the ball very good at the end of the first quarter there, especially Sullivan, the all-state receiver, made a couple of great catches and showed what he could do with the ball once he caught it and got up the field. But I think you're right. They did get impatient. They wanted to get it all back quickly. They found out they could move the ball in the air, and they wanted, the 30 and 35-yard gainers instead of taking the 12 and 15s that they had done so successfully before. But hey, they have another whole half of football, and they can score from any place on the football field.
So the score here at halftime, 21-7. Drew and I will be back with the second half action. Second half of football here from Northeast High School. Once again, the score, 21-7. And we've got a few injuries for O'Hara to talk about, Drew, before we have the kickoff.
That's right. We mentioned the injury to Higgins, the quarterback from Judge, and whether or not we'll see him. He is warming up on the sidelines, remains to be seen. But two key injuries to O'Hara's defense. Greg Davis, a 6'2", 215-pound sophomore defensive end, limped off the field at the end of the first half. Whether or not we'll see him or not, we don't know. And also their fine defensive back, Jim Dunnigan, the 5'8", 140-pound junior, he limped back on the field afterwards without his helmet in hand. So whether or not he came back out just to watch in his uniform, whether he'll be ready to play something yet, we don't know.
So it's going to be a matter now whether Murray can regroup his team along with Sullivan and the rest of the O'Hara group over there under Bob Ewing, or whether they come out and move the football. They will be kicking off to start the second half from their own 40-yard line, which means that they will not have possession to start things off. They've got to have a defensive effort.
They sure do, and they must straighten themselves out offensively and get some of that momentum back. You know, when you have the passing game going for you, the momentum can swing so darn quickly. And when you complete a couple of them, believe me, your linemen get the adrenaline going, your backs, your receivers, everybody gets pumped up. When you throw the interception, it just goes very quickly the opposite way, and it takes a certain emotional stability right there to be able to maintain the status quo. And, you know, when you throw the interception, turn the ball over, you know, keep your heads and go right back at them next time.
So Magallanes will be the deep back. He'll be in the center of the field. It's going to be a short kick, and it's going to be picked up by one of the up backs, number 35, and he's going to move it up. And let's see exactly where they're going to get it to. It looks like about the 35-yard line. Number 35 for Judge picked the ball up, one of the short backs, and we'll give it to you in just a second. And that's Colligan, and he picked the ball up as it sort of was a quick kick, and we'll bring it up to the 34-yard line. Drill will be 1st and 10 for Judge on the 34.
Okay, as we had mentioned before, O'Hara, you know, they're down 21-7 now. They must do something early in the second half.
Magallanes is going to take the ball. He's going to swing out to the near side. He's going to pick up a couple of yards, not too much. Good defensive effort that time. And you talked in the first half, Drew, about stringing the play out and closing, and that's what they did.
That's right. Steve Schaefer that time, number 8, 5'10", 195-pound senior, does a nice job getting to the corner, makes a tackle before Magallanes can get too far upfield. Something that, you know, that has to be coached into you. You've got to take the proper angles to make that tackle there. Magallanes, deceptive speed, doesn't look like he can burn you, but we saw in the first half that if you give him the corner, he's got that overdrive, and he'll take it upfield on you.
Higgins did not quarterback the end of the first half, but he is in here to start the second half. Higgins the quarterback. Jones the up back wearing number 40. Magallanes will handle the ball, but fake to Magallanes. Now Jones is going to go back. A lot of defensive pressure now by O'Hara, and look at that. They throw the ball into the ground, so it's going to be a 3rd down and long situation. Let's call it a 3rd down and about 7 yards for Judge, has good defensive pressure by O'Hara.
Okay, what Judge wanted that time, what Higgins particularly wanted, he wanted a little bit of a flood pattern. He wanted his tight end on the angle out that time, and his tight end got tied up at the line of scrimmage, fell down, and never could get into the pattern. As a result, Higgins was out there running for his life with only 1 receiver and 3 defensive backs. He very smartly threw the ball into the ground for the incompletion.
So let's see what they elect to do as they come up to the line of scrimmage on a 3rd down and 7 situation. They're going to put Magallanes in motion again, coming to the short side of the field, almost takes him out of the play. And good defensive pressure again, and down will go Higgins this time, and they're going to be back inside their original starting position. They started this drive. They're going to lose another yard. It's going to be 4th down and 11.
Richard Haggerty.
Good defensive pressure.
Yeah, Richard Haggerty, number 83, defensive end, senior, 6 foot, 175 pounds. Nice job that time as he hung right with Higgins that time. Looked like Higgins was going to get away for a second, though, but Haggerty hung with him and made the tackle, forcing the punt.
Sean Sullivan on the near side of the field. And Sean has been the one that has handled the majority of the punts thus far in the ball game so far. Remember, it's 21-7 in favor of Judge. The kick's away, and let's see whether Sullivan elects not to pick it up. And Judge is going to down the football, and it's going to be somewhere in the area of the 41, 42-yard line. Let's see where the officials elect to place the ball down. It was touched by a Judge player, and it's a matter of just exactly where they did touch it.
Fortunately, I think for O'Hara that time, there wasn't a better roll. We'll watch Higgins this time on the replay coming up in a second here. This is on the sack by Haggerty. As Higgins will drop back and has a little bit of time, but not a whole lot, to throw the ball down the field, and good pressure by O'Hara this time. He's back there. He can throw now, but he can't. He's got the pressure there, and Haggerty came from behind along with number 74, Bob Schaefer, to make the tackle.
Very nice defensive play. So let's see what O'Hara can do as Murray's going to drop straight back. Good defensive pressure inside. Oh, almost a great catch in there by number 26 as he had a great shot at it. McArdle had a great chance to catch that football, and well, let's change. I think it was 26. I think it was Francis McArdle who had the opportunity to make the catch on that play. almost made a spectacular catch.
He did. That's the crossing pattern, just hitting him behind the linebackers. It's a 15, 20-yard pass play, the ones that I think that O'Hara's are going to have to concentrate on to complete this evening to get the ball down the field.
So Murray going back to his bread and butter, not trying to throw the ball quite as deeply, and now he goes for the sideline to Sullivan, but not really much chance. A good underneath coverage as well as deep coverage by Judge on that play, and it would have taken an almost perfect ball to get that in. It was great defensive coverage by Judge on the far side.
Judge is playing that 4-4, 4-3 with a monster call, what you want defense, and that means that there's only 4 people rushing, maybe even 5. Everybody else is back in pass coverage. And if you're only going to send 3 people out, I don't care how you divide it, you have at least 6 or 7 defenders. It makes it very difficult. They're only running 3-man pass patterns. Going to have to see the backs coming out of the backfield, dropping the ball to them.
Murray 0 for 2 to start the third period, and going to have an option play this time. He's going to pick up a little yardage, but not enough for the first down as he moves up to the 41, 42-yard line. They're going to spot it just over the 40-yard line, length of the football over the 40-yard line, and that's not going to be good enough. It's going to be 4th down and 2.
Okay, again, he goes with the option. He'll go with the option right now coming down the line, and doesn't really develop as well as he'd like to. He gets away from one tackler and cuts it back inside, but not enough for the first.
So the punt, nice play as his punter scoops the ball up off the ground, actually, and we're going to have, I thought we had a fair catch call. Yes, we did. I thought Magallanes called a fair catch and then pulled that hand down so quickly. I thought maybe I had misread the signal, but he did, in fact, call for the fair catch.
Sean Sullivan did a nice job of scooping up the low snap that time from his center and getting rid of the ball very quickly, straight down the field. Decent punt out of it, and Magallanes had to call a fair catch, and Judge will have the ball for the second time now in the second half, and again, they have a somewhat comfortable 21-7 lead.
So once again, Higgins will bring Judge up. They lead it by that 21-7, 9 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in period number 3, and it looked as though Higgins had hurt his forearm or hand at the end of the first half. Good hole inside as Jones will take the ball and move it up very, very close to the yard marker. 30-yard line. It's just inside on the Judge side of the 30-yard line.
Okay, again, Father Judge doesn't have to do a lot of things. Last week they had a 14-0 lead at halftime, a 14-point lead, and they decided to let the defense win the game for him and sit on it, and he has a 14-0 lead tonight. I don't think he'll sit on it like he did last week, although he'll still play somewhat of a conservative offense.
Jones the up back. Magallanes is the deep back. Man in motion, go left to right. Handoff goes to Magallanes. Good hold off the right side. Plows up, gets good yardage.
23, Jerry Magallanes on the carry.
So Magallanes picks up good yardage, and he moves it up to the 33-yard line, we'll call it, maybe 32.5, 33-yard line, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 3.
I hate to be repetitive with big plays, but for O'Hara right now, this defensive 3rd down situation is important. They want to get the ball back.
So we'll see whether they can stiff it up now defensively, as Higgins is going to go on the option play the other way. So both quarterbacks on 3rd down plays elected to go with exactly the same play and didn't make it.
That's right. Charlie DeFeo that time, the linebacker, read it perfectly, and again, he was right in there at the quarterback's face on the option when he tried to turn it upfield. Good tackle just about at the line of scrimmage, maybe gave him a yard, but good play by O'Hara that time on defense, and they're going to get the ball back. And let's watch to see if they field this punt this time. Again, I don't think they fielded one this evening.
Drew, I think both coaches talked about that in the first half. I'm talking in terms of running that option, sliding down the line of scrimmage, because they had great success in the first half. Murray doing it. Likewise, Higgins had great success. And we see both clubs do it here in the second half, and they've really been defensed very well. Deep kick's going to go back. It's Sullivan not going to take it. It's going to be a fair catch on the other side as John Martino took the fair catch that time. It was Sullivan on the far side of the field. Martino put his hand up, called for the fair catch, and right now O'Hara, great field position, will put the ball in play.
Martino did a nice job that time. He fielded the punt, and as a result, O'Hara's got the decent field position, and they're not watching the ball roll back down and hindering their offensive play selection.
Ball's just outside their 35-yard line. Murray flipped back, and it's a bad pitch, and it's going to be recovered by Judge. A bad pitch has really no opportunity for Gentile to handle that football. I was a little bit behind him, and with this ground freezing up now as the evening gets later and later, once your momentum is carrying you, you have no chance to come back on that slick field, and Judge covered the ball.
Okay, watch replay. Murray's going to pitch it immediately. Somebody shows, and he did not have to pitch it that quickly, and Gentile didn't know the ball was coming anyway, so, again, the patience of the play, and Murray that time a bit impatient. He saw the blue jersey show immediately and pitched the ball, and
So now the excellent field position goes the other way, and it's Judge with great field position, and Magallanes falls. Great defensive play by number 22 as he came in defensively, and a super play inside as it looked like 22, and I may be incorrect on that.
82, number 82, Michael McCarthy, defensive end, came in there, defensive back, along with a couple other people from O'Hara, but a broken play in the secondary or in the offensive backfield of Judge, and forced Higgins to have to carry the ball when he wasn't supposed to. And
they're going to call it Tascani that made the tackle, number 77. I have a little question about that one. Once again, Higgins is your quarterback. Deep back. It's going to go this time to the deep back. Magallanes got the football, went off his right side, did not pick up a great deal of yardage on the play.
Judge, as most teams, is somewhat of a right-handed team, and that is they prefer to run the ball to the right. One thing that DeFeo, the linebacker on the left side of O'Hara's defense, the offense is right, and Schaefer, they're trying to play different games, and DeFeo almost every play is moving Schaefer back and forth, and sometimes that can cause some confusion and cause for a big gap.
Again, as Drew said a little bit ago, and there's another ball's going to be deflected and knocked down loose on the ground. Let's see who comes up with this one. As a quarterback, great inside penetration by the entire front line of O'Hara, and really no chance to get that play at all. It's going to be a fourth down play.
That's right. He ran the option again, and he had to pitch the ball very quickly, and O'Hara very strongly defensively. Number 8, Steve Schaefer, right there on top of the play. Referee really in our way of a camera, but you saw number 8 come in at the end there and stop the play for no gain at all.
So Judge with a great opportunity to capitalize, and O'Hara has stiffened, and now let's see whether we have illegal motion or encroachment by O'Hara, and they may be going to call this against O'Hara, as it looks right now as though Judge is pointing in the other direction. A big play right there. They want to march 5 off, and it's now going to be 4th down and 4 rather than 4th down and 9.
That's right, and that's going to change. I'm sure it's going to change the play that Coach Sullivan had chosen on this 4th down play right now. He's still too far away for a field goal attempt, I'm sure, especially in the weather too. It's not as easy to kick when it's cold out. But right now he has a good opportunity to get the 1st down, and I'm sure he'll change his play now and choose something that maybe a pet type of play, something they feel very comfortable with. And I would imagine we're going to see number 23 carry the football.
Well, we saw it a couple of times in big plays in the first period. They went to their bread and butter man. That's Magallanes, and he is the deep back on the play. So we'll see what Higgins elects to do here as he makes the call. Goes with a fake option, goes it to Magallanes, but it's going to be very close over there to 1st down. Let's see what the officials say.
Again, Magallanes, he does a super job. He is just a tremendous nose for the 1st down, where he has to go and what he wants to do. And he didn't have a lot of running room that time, but he didn't make it fancy. He just dropped his shoulder and kept a good balance and got enough for the 1st down. That's a big play for Judge.
You talked about that in the first period, at a very critical 1st down that he got right down here, in a very critical inside his own 20-yard line at that time. We saw the same thing there for the nose for the 1st down. So Judge, well schooled right now. Man goes in motion. The inside handoff to Jones this time, I believe, is the ball carrier, and he's going to have some great penetration. He's down pretty close to the 10-yard line. Ball is right on the 10-yard line. Good pickup on the play of about 4 yards, so it's going to be 2nd down, and we'll call it a long 6. Whitey Sullivan continues to shuffle players in and out of the lineup, but he's in position now to take a commanding lead following that turnover. The option play this time is not really going to get anywhere. He's going to get back to the 10-yard line as Higgins rolled out to the right, and that time some good defensive play in there by O'Hara.
Jim Haberkak does a nice job that time, number 20 coming up and stopping again to play for a little gain. And as you mentioned, Judge can take a very commanding lead and really control this football game. There's only 3:50 to go in the 3rd quarter here, and they control 21-7 so far. They've got the ball deep inside O'Hara's territory and about the 9-yard line.
Gambaroni goes in motion again toward the wide side of the field, the option play, and they are going to really pursue this one extremely well. And we're going to find the ball back near the 15-yard line as McCarthy makes a great play. McCarthy came across the line of scrimmage, looked for the pitch out, played it perfectly, and made a great play.
Sure did, and it forced them to lose about 5-6 yards on the play. They're going to kick the field goal right now, and they've got the ball in the furthest hash mark they can be, which means it's the toughest angle.
Number 44, Dan Ellis, puts the ball up, and he pulls it a little bit to the left. It's going to be wide to the left. So with 3 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in the third period, let's pause for this with a score. 21 in play very, very quickly, but they're not going to have much room to move as a good defensive pressure in there that time, and I think they may have lost about 2 yards on the play. They're going to find themselves back on the 18-yard line after that missed field goal. It's going to be a second down and a long 12.
I think you're right. You know, when we talked at the top of the show about how we were going to see kind of probably a defensive game, and we saw an offensive show, and now I think you're going to see the defenses start coming to light now.
Murray hits a ball off, and a lot of running room right now as we saw a great move right there by Tulsky. Took the ball and rolled out to the right side, and a first down. He picks up that 12 plus a few more. He's in great shape.
Just as I talk about the great defense we're going to see, we see a big gainer. There's a replay of Tulsky. He just goes off tackle on the option, breaks it to the outside, gets a good block in the secondary there, and stiff arms and picks up another 3 or 4 yards.
So after Murray goes almost exclusively to the pass, he hands the ball off to Tulsky. Here he comes again. Good defensive pressure in there. He throws the ball into a lot of blue shirts from Judge and really got away with a very fortunate pass there. That could have been an interception.
Sure could have. He just threw the ball up there that time. Murray had great pressure, and fortunately he got away with it. But again, you don't like to see your quarterback do that. That could have ended up very well in the hands of a Judge defensive back.
So now Murray finds himself with a second down, 10 yards to go. Ball's outside his 30 at about the 32. Swings it out to the left side, and ball is dropped over there on the left side by Gentile. Gentile had a chance. That ball was right in his hands. Really, that ball should have been caught. So with 2:01 to go, it's still 21-7 in favor of Judge.
Very good pass by Dan Murray that time, the quarterback running to his left and having to, throw a perfect pass. Watch this as we're on the ground level right now. See Murray, he just runs to his left. Hard pass to throw. He stops, sets up. He put the ball right on the money. Gentile just dropped the ball.
I'm going to say one of the most difficult passes to throw because you can't throw it too hard, but yeah, you have to get it out there quickly enough. Murray drops straight back, and we may have an interception. Let's see. They're saying no. They are saying no interception. Officials are on the play, and whoop, they changed their mind. No.
They're taking it back. One official, I think, thought he had a completion, but the other 2 officials immediately got there. They saw the ball hit the ground. If we see it on our replay, well, I think we'll see the same thing too. Officials right on top of the ball, but again, O'Hara going strictly to the air at this point, and after they get out deep in their own territory, unsuccessfully.
Magallanes, number 23, will be the deep back. Again, a tough center gets back. The ball's going to bounce this time. And goes out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. And we'll be back with more action here at Northeast High School with a score, Judge 21. O'Hara to put the ball in play. Higgins again up under center. Magallanes takes the football, goes off his right guard, and doesn't pick up too much yardage. About 2 yards.
We have the coaching strategy of Father Judge right now with their defensive people. They're trying to, they're telling them that we basically have 1 quarter of football left, fellas, and Coach pointing to the clock right now saying all we need is 12 more good solid minutes out of you and protect this 14-point lead.
Kenny Jones, the up back, number 40. Magallanes, the deep back, number 23. Higgins, the quarterback, number 10. Inside handoff goes to Jones. Gets some good yardage. He's up about, still short of the first down as he comes up over the 40-yard line and out to about the 42-yard line, and ball will be spotted. It'll be a 3rd down and 3 for Judge.
Okay, Father Judge right now content with using the clock to their best advantage right now, and that is taking their time in the huddle, taking their time and getting people in and out of the game and using up as much of the 25 seconds they're allowed between plays that they can. And right now the clock's on their side. They're again protecting a 14-point lead, 21-7.
Ambroni comes out of the lineup right now, and we're going to have the I formation, and let's see where we have a host of flags going down, and this time it may go the other way. Last time we saw illegal procedure called as O'Hara came across the line of scrimmage, but I think this time we're going to find illegal procedure against Judge, and we're going to move it back. So that's really going to change the complexion. Instead of a 3rd and 3, we're going to have a 3rd and 8.
That's right, and you might see them go to the air that this time, although Judge prefers to get the ball into the hands of Magallanes.
Here comes Gambaroni now back into the lineup, and as we mentioned, they went that time without Gambaroni. They wanted the strength on the line of scrimmage and took Gambaroni out of the lineup, and now Gambaroni is going to flank wide to the right. See whether they put him in motion or not. Higgins hands the ball off to his big fullback, and Magallanes takes it up. It's going to be well short of the first down, and Bobby Schaefer came in to make a fine defensive play.
Sure did. 6'1", 220-pound senior. He's playing his last football game, as are the other seniors on both sides tonight.
That is the end of the third period here at Northeast High School. Catholic League Championship game with a score, Judge 21, O'Hara. We're all set to go with the fourth and final period of high school football. And of course, for these young men, this could be their final game and as high school players. And there's a fumble on that kick, and it's going to be recovered by Judge as, again, a mistake. And it looked like Sullivan was the one that fielded that ball. And as he did, he lost it.
Okay, he looked like he hesitated. He didn't get under the football well enough, and we've talked about this all night, Don, and that is, fielding that punt. And for a while they didn't field it. They fielded the last one. Martino did nicely, and watch again, the ball, it isn't a difficult play. He just doesn't get under the ball properly. He doesn't have his balance, and he fumbles the football as a result. And that's a terrible break right now because O'Hara, something they could least afford.
O'Hara could least afford to have that happen to them right there. That's exactly what did happen. Pitch back. Goes to Magallanes. He's going to turn the corner. He's going to pick up some yardage. He's going to pick up about 5 on the play. As they tried to string the play out, O'Hara that is, but was unable to do it. And the ball's going to be down at about the 31-yard line. So we'll give them a 6-yard pickup on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Okay, right now, Father Judge, they have the great field position. If they can just run some time down and move the ball down a little bit for a first down, they're in total control of the football game. At that point, O'Hara needed the football back in good field position, which they had the opportunity to do. They have to get a turnover.
11 minutes, 14 seconds to go in this championship game. Magallanes is going to go the other way. Great defensive play. Number 36 coming across the line of scrimmage.
Franchitti, the 5'9", 180-pound junior, does a super job of coming across, and that's the kind of play they need right now. They need a couple more of them, though. They threw Magallanes for a nice loss that time, forcing the 3rd and 7 situation. Watch Franchitti just appear at the top of your screen right there, and he just makes a great tackle on the open field before Magallanes could get to the corner and get any yardage.
Franchitti, a great diving tackle, and you like to see that. He hit him perfectly down below the knees, took his feet right out from under him. Great play. Textbook tackle. Higgins going to drop back. He's got a man out there right down the middle. This one could be intercepted, and it's tapped around, and it is intercepted. O'Hara's got the football at the 10 and over the 10-yard line to the 11, and O'Hara will have the football.
That's an okay interception if you're on Judge's sidelines right now, because that's as good as any punt would have done for them. O'Hara has the ball on the run 11. He hung the ball, bad pass, but that was, it's as good as they would have had a punt on 4th down anyway, and their punter may not have been successful as that. O'Hara probably should have, you never know, but they made the good interception anyway. But again, they trailed 21-7, 10:23 to go. You'll see Higgins now drop back. Magallanes going to streak up the middle of the football field out of motion. And Higgins, he loses his balance a little bit and just lets it go, and he's got a wounded duck up there, and intercepted again by Franchitti, number 36, but again, he only was able to get back to the 11-yard line.
Seen Franchitti make a couple of pretty good plays here. Number 1, he came in and made a great play, and now he comes back and pulls off an interception and gives O'Hara back the football. So right now they're in pretty good shape. They got the football, which is what they need first and foremost.
That's right. They have 2nd down now. On 1st down, we didn't see because of the replay. They gained a few yards off tackle.
Murray is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to lose back the 4 yards that they picked up. We're very close to it. And it's going to be a 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Let's call it 9 yards to go, as he lost 2 to 3 yards on that play.
Quarterback Murray waits for his offensive guard to come in and give him a play from Coach Ewing on the sideline. Now it's a long run. It's about a 40-yard sprint.
Sullivan's flanked way out to the near side of the field. Murray gives the ball off on a counter play. A lot of room up there. 1st down and more. Great play by Gentile as he came up, and we saw that counter work effectively with Jones in the first half for Judge. Now we see it work the other way with Gentile.
That was a big play right then and there because he had a 3rd and 9, and they didn't want to put the ball in the air again deep in their own territory like that. And you need the big running play and that delay counter, delay draw, coming back against the Grange until he does a nice job, shows good speed, got good blocking on the play.
So we'll see what Murray decides to do. He's got to get his club down and on the scoreboard to make this competitive in the last few minutes. Pass goes out, and Sullivan had his hands on it after it was almost intercepted, and it was ticked off. Judge over there, Sullivan almost made a great catch, but he couldn't hold on.
A little bit difficult time seeing the numbers of Father Judge, with the bright lights, looking into the lights like we are. But again, the ball was tipped, and then it was tipped right to Sullivan, though, and he was caught by surprise and wasn't able to hold on.
33, Ed Gambino is going to get credit for knocking that pass down and almost had a shot to intercept it. As Murray brings his club up now on a 2nd down, 10 yards to go. And he's going to drop straight back this time. Has some time, throws it up over the middle, tipped again, and no good. And it'll be a 3rd down and 10 to go, and whoops, wait a minute. Officials are going to have a little conference out there.
They're going to call pass interference, and I would think that Coach Sullivan is going to call a timeout and argue it. He's going to say the ball was tipped, and as a result, you can do anything you want to the receiver at that point, and that's his complaint right now. Now, the officials can overrule themselves if one official did not see the ball tipped and the other official goes over and says the ball was tipped before the collision, and therefore they will negate the penalty.
They are signaling that right now. You're seeing the tip signal. They're going to move it back. While they move the football back here at Northeast High School, we will pause for this. Importantly, the second phase of your answer, the fact that the officials got together, had a conference, and got the play called correctly is really the key item.
That's right. There's no argument there from either coach, and I'm sure you wouldn't see anything from Coach Schilling since the call went against him, but that's the way that call is made. If the ball's tipped like that, you can take the receiver out of the play at that point without having an interference call, and that's what happened.
Tulski, Gentile, Murray, the backs for O'Hara as they trail by 14 with 8 minutes, 43 seconds to go. Don Henderson, Drew Gordon, and of course Hugh Gannon, happy to bring you this high school championship game from Northeast High School, the Catholic League Championship.
The ball is tipped. No interference. 3rd down.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. Referee Eddie Vaughn out there does a super job. He did the first game last week between O'Hara and Bonner also.
So now Murray's got to go back, and it's going to be a 3rd down and long yardage to go. Good defensive pressure. Screen pass is going to come out. And what a defensive play in there as they read that screen perfectly, came right through and threw the receiver for about an 8-yard loss.
Mr. Jim Hart, number 86, a 6 foot, 186-pound defensive end. He just did a super job that time. He read the play, and the O'Hara linemen had their backs turned to the defense, and that's one thing you have to drill into your offensive lineman on the screen is keep your eyes upfield, fellas, because you don't know what's coming. Don't watch for the ball to be caught and then turn. You'll never see the defense. Hart snuck behind everybody and broke up a big play.
So Sullivan will have to drop back now and do the punting for O'Hara, trailing by 14. Gets the punt away. Good kick. Spiral and taken, dropped, and fallen on. And there was an opportunity for the fair catch. The ball is right on the 50-yard line, and you don't want to see a fumble there, Drew.
That's right. That would have been the horrible thing. Watch his screen pass, too. And we'll watch number 86, a defensive end for Judge. He sets you bottom of your screen. He goes into the screen. He gets behind everybody. Number 60 just ignored him, and number 23, Gentile, never had a chance.
So now we'll see whether they just elect to give the ball to Jones and Magallanes and let them run the clock out with 7:57 to go. Magallanes will take the ball, goes right into the middle, picks up about a yard. So Magallanes, and he has run the ball so effectively in this ball game, and he puts both arms around the ball, and you like to see that.
Sure does right now. We talked about whether they protect the lead before in the 3rd quarter. They're definitely going to do it right now, though. I would be surprised if we even saw Higgins go to the ground, air at all, or even run his option play. You can fumble a pitch out as easily as you can have an interception. So I would think that with the refined running back they have in Magallanes, we'll see a lot of off tackle and up the middle type of running.
Glenn flank right out here to the near side. Magallanes goes in motion. The ball goes inside, though. And not much of a pickup as Kenny Jones takes the handoff. We talked about Ken Jones, the up back, as Magallanes went in motion that time to the left. And not much of a pickup. It's going to be a 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
Yeah, to set the stage right now, we have almost 7 minutes to go, 7:03 and counting down. Father Judge has the ball on the O'Hara 46-yard line, and they're protecting again a 21-7 lead.
Magallanes and Glenn both out on this right side, and a deep pass wide open. Magallanes, there he is, and it's a touchdown. Magallanes, what a great throw from Higgins to Magallanes, and we're talking about saving the football, not putting it up. But as Drew, as you said, that's a very safe pass, because even if it's intercepted, O'Hara's got the ball down on their own 5.
That's right, and I'm sure that Coach Sullivan was thinking that Cardinal O'Hara was thinking the same thing. You're not going to throw the ball deep on us. Well, Magallanes out of the backfield again. A great protection by the Judge offensive line. Higgins has like all day, and he just allows Magallanes to run down that sideline until he feels like throwing. Watches, he's nobody even near him. He just hangs in there, throws a perfect pass. Magallanes hardly has to break stride at the end and goes in standing up.
Great call, great execution. The kick is good, and we've got ourselves a score of 28-7. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the ball game. Judge 28, O'Hara 7. A spiraling kick. It's going to be handled and dropped. Now picked up again, and oh, look at this. We're going to have a big run back at the 45-yard line, and down with Tulsky at the 45, and he had some room in front of him, but how many players have we seen slip right in that general area between the 45s?
That's a shame, because if he goes coast to coast on a play like that, gosh knows what will happen in the last 6 minutes of a football game, especially at the high school level like that. But he slips down on the 45-yard line, but nevertheless, if O'Hara's going to do anything at all, Don, now's the time they have to do it.
So now we'll see whether Murray can regroup his forces and get back into this contest and see what he and Sullivan can do in a combination. Short drop back this time, out on the right side, and looks like he's going to go out of bounds as he goes down to the 44-yard line as
Chris Farico, number 30, catches the ball coming out of the back four, 6'1", 172 pounds. Good enough for the first down, 11, 12-yard game, but they need the big ones right now. They've got to get down the field in big chunks and very quickly, and they need the ball back 2 or 3 more times within the last 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
44-yard line, 1st and 10 to go for O'Hara, but they trail by 21. And we've got a penalty flag down as the ball is going to be, looked like sort of a mix-up on the play inside somewhere, as Murray didn't have anywhere to go with the football. Finally fell down as he got over the 45, but we've got flags on the play. Offside, nope, illegal motion. Looked like they were going to call offside initially, then they changed it to illegal motion against O'Hara.
They look at procedure or motion, whatever, whether they were in a wrong formation or an illegal formation, don't know, but anyway, this will go against O'Hara.
A great throw from Murray to Sullivan with 5:27 to go, and 28-13, and we have the extra point coming up.
Okay, again, he does a great job. Murray does of getting to the outside and running away from people, and does a fine job there. And Sullivan, of course, being the good receiver that he is, he recognizes his quarterback in trouble and heads deep and stays in his vision. Got behind everybody, and Murray put the ball there.
Going to go for the 2-point conversion, man. Wide open to the end zone. They have it. It's going to be 26-15 as O'Hara went for the 2-point conversion. And number 88 took the football for O'Hara. And that is Cunnis, as we're going to go back and take another look at the touchdown throw from Murray to Sullivan, and you pick it up, Drew.
Okay, Murray drops back. He wants to sit there, but he has to get to his outside. He's rolling right now, and he sees Sullivan breaking loose at that time, puts the ball right on the money in the corner of the end zone.
Great throw by Murray that time. With a score, 5 minutes, 27 seconds to go here in the 4th and final period. 28-17, make it 28-15. Let's pause. But it's not going to get that far. It's a short kick taken up by one of the short men, and he rolls up over the 40-yard line to the 41 or 42-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 to go for Judge with a score 28-15.
We have Coach Noel from Monsignor Bonner here with us right now. And Coach, we've seen a will of a football game. The first half was up and down the field, a little bit more defense there. But you played O'Hara last week, and they did a real fine job defensively. And they've tried to open up tonight, though, to play a completely different game than they played against you.
Well, they threw the ball a lot more tonight. I guess it was a count on the win last year, but I think the difference is the Judge is controlling the line of scrimmage just as they did on us last week. That was a difference.
Magallanes will pick up a little bit of yardage on the play, and we'll get right back to you.
You played O'Hara twice this year, though, and did they do anything tonight? They just seemed to move the ball so well at the end of the first quarter, early in the second quarter, throwing the ball. Murray was right on target. Sullivan, of course, which was ineffective last week against you people, seemed to be effective. And then the ball started hanging on, though. The interceptions came and the turnover, and maybe a little loss of confidence and consistency at that point.
That's possibly true, but I think Judge's defense has a lot to do with that. The pressure they're putting on him, too. The kid's been in trouble a couple times.
Higgins gives the inside handoff to Jones, and he rolls over the 50-yard line down to the 48-yard line of O'Hara, and it's going to be, looks like it's going to be a first down from here, but let's wait and see what the officials have to say about it. I think it's going to be a first down, and it is, well, maybe they're going to measure. Let's wait and see. They're not going to measure now. They're going to elect to say it is a first down. 4 minutes, 29 seconds to go, and Judge in excellent shape.
Okay, Father Judge again, they've done a lot of good things tonight. How do you view it as they've been able to run the ball, throw the ball effectively?
Well, I think they've used a lot of motion. Maybe O'Hara wasn't used to it, or they're trying to play them too honest, it looks like to me, and they stayed in that same defense, and they didn't do much with the motion, and I think that's hurting them.
High formation. Up back is Jones. Deep back, Gambolidis, and he's going to break away for a couple of tacklers. Comes down the right sideline, and he's going to pick up some yardage on just extra effort. We've talked about the extra effort all night, especially in critical first down situations where he seems to get that extra half yard or 2 feet needed for the first down. There he just broke away, and he picked up 9 big yards and takes it right down to the 40-yard line.
One more thing, Coach. You did mention the motion. We had seen it earlier that O'Hara just seemed to be giving a lot up and, rotating a lot on the motion. How difficult is it to prepare in 1 week for a championship game against a team that not in your division so far don't get a chance to see a whole lot?
Well, it's really difficult, and I don't know how many films they exchanged with each other, but it's quite hard to prepare for a team in such a short time. I think that this game you should be given more time to get ready for it as opposed to the much time you get in the playoffs. Of course, Thanksgiving has a lot to do with it, but I think this game, you need more time to prepare for a team that you've never seen, and you only try to look at them on film. You don't know their speed. It's hard to determine their speed unless you've really scouted them well, and I think it's pretty difficult. When you run a type of offense like O'Hara, they run a few plays, they run them well. It might have been easier for Judge to get ready for O'Hara as opposed to O'Hara getting ready for Judge.
Coach, how realistic, though, is it? We're at December the 12th, about 25-degree weather out here. We're still playing high school football. Granted, it's a championship game, but how realistic is it to extend the season much further?
Well, you really couldn't, I guess, but maybe if we started a little earlier, we'd be all right.
It was let me check that just to be sure. I believe it was a first down. It was short of the first down. It was not a first. About 2 or 3 inches short of the first down. So it's going to be a second down, and let's just call it about the length of the football away from a first down. We have 3:59 to go in the ball game, and we're going to see the first down recorded right there. So it's going to be Judge first down and 10 to go, and they lead it by a score of 28-15.
Okay, again, O'Hara, you're coaching now. You're coaching Father Judge. You're going to run the clock out right now.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think they'll put it up. They have the game pretty well in hand right now, and I just think they're going to try and run it out.
And Cardinal O'Hara, what are your players going through right now? What's the coach go through in his mind, Bob Ewing?
Well, you're going to try and get the football, and just hope you get a good break someplace.
Deep pitch goes to Magallanes this time. Good defensive penetration by O'Hara, but again, good balance by Magallanes as he gets up over the line of scrimmage. He's going to pick up about 5 yards on the play, so a play that could have lost a yard or two. Magallanes winds up with great balance, picking up 5.
Coach, if you have to defend against a guy, Magallanes is a pretty tough guy to play against, isn't he?
Oh, he's a super back. He's been a great back all year, and he got rid of his problem of fumbling the football, and I don't think he's fumbled all night tonight. He's just doing a great job. He's a real good running back.
Okay, thank you very much for coming over and saying
thanks a lot, fellas.
Thank you. Okay, we're down now, under 3 minutes to go in the ball game. And going to pick up a couple of yards. Krypton's going to take the ball and going to roll down. I'm just trying to pick up the yardage marker and see exactly where we are. It looks like, difficult to say. I think it's a 29-yard line. I'm almost sure that's where we are.
Right now, 236, 235 and counting here. And as Coach No indicated, the only thing O'Hara can do right now, they need a couple of miracles right now. They need to grab the football and turn into 6 points a couple of times very quickly.
They're just going to keep running that fullback now. They've taken Magallanes out of the game, and I know we have to come up with a offensive player of the game and a defensive player of the game, and it's got to be very difficult to do because when you look at the Judge's overall balance. You talk about Higgins, and Magallanes, of course, has had the great game. He's scored on the ground. He also scored in the air on that big touchdown pass. Higgins has done a great job, though, of controlling the offense for Judge. So there have been a number of players out there that have done a great job.
Oh, they sure have. And any time an MVP is very difficult. Usually it goes to your backs or your ends or your quarterback, you know, whatever, who's got the big statistics. But you really can't deny a guy that's got 3 touchdowns this evening in a championship football game. He's carried the ball for them. How many critical third down situations did he carry the ball and get the first down for them on that 3rd and short yardage? And game breaker at the end, he catches the big touchdown pass. He's demonstrated his ability to run and throw. They've used him as a decoy at times on the motion. He's just been all over the field tonight. That's Magallanes, the fullback we're talking about, number 23, the all-Catholic, all-Lake running back, and just does he does a great job defensively. Father Judge, they did a lot of good things in the beginning of the game. One of the things that we talked about in that first and second quarter was the hitting and the how intense it was out there. And I think that at that point, Judge seemed to have a little bit of an edge there. In the they seemed to be making a couple of other big defensive plays right then, and that's kind of when O'Hara not backed off at all. I don't mean to say it that way, but the momentum seemed to go to Judge at that point.
That missed touchdown interception right down there in the second period really turned this ball game around. Right now, 2 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the contest, and it looks as though they're going to throw the ball again, and they do throw the football as Gambaroni was going to take that football. Every time we say they're not going to throw it, the last time they threw it to Magallanes for a touchdown, and that time they threw it or tried to throw it to Gambaroni for a first down. So at the 2-minute mark, they were still going for the end zone.
That's well, I think they wanted the first down just to make sure, and I said, they didn't throw the ball in the end zone, but they wanted to get that first down, and they thought that O'Hara probably would be playing for the run, and they could maybe drop the ball over the linebacker's head and get somebody out of the backfield.
So 1st and 10 to go. And again, we have to talk about Sullivan, who's in motion right now, going to the wide side of the field. Murray's back, still back. He's going to be hit, and he's going to be taken down on about the 14-yard line as, again, great defensive pressure. And that time, there just wasn't enough time for Murray to set up. And we're talking about great plays, and of course, all league and all state, and Sullivan has done a good job tonight as well. Another player that certainly deserves a lot of comment.
Here's a replay of the sack on Murray, and you'll just see Father Judge. They're teeing off at the line of scrimmage right now. They had a little bit of a blitz going that time, a stunt. Murray really no place to go, and
we pick up the live action as the ball goes out to the right side on the right sideline and is incomplete as it goes out of bounds. It's going to be a 3rd down and a long, long way to go for a first down. Barrica was the intended receiver, number 30, and as you saw, the ball went off his hands and over the sidelines and out of bounds. We only have 1:18 to go. I'd like to thank all the folks that were nice enough to join us for this football season. We really enjoyed doing it. I know I can speak for Hugh Gannon, who is right now downstairs, and certainly for Drew Gordon and myself. I'm Don Henderson. We've enjoyed having the opportunity to be with you as long pass thrown out there, and it's going to be intercepted. Ball's intercepted by Judge, and that pretty much is going to put the icing on the cake as the young man is just going to roll out of bounds on the left sideline with 1:04 to go. But we just had a great time having an opportunity to bring high school football your way. We've seen a lot of great games, and we hope you've enjoyed it just half as much as we have.
That's right, and again, Judge gets the big interception there. Murray throws the ball about as far as he can, just throwing it up in the air. And we'll see again Father Judge with all their defensive people back there, and they'll just pick the ball off on the interception. And as you mentioned, they just ice it there. That kind of ends everything. There's only 1:04 to go.
They're going to bring the ball back now as there was a penalty called on the play.
5 yards, Judge gets the interception. First down.
There you heard the call, illegal use of the hands after the interception. 1:04 to go. Ball still belongs to Judge. And Drew is feverishly working on the outstanding players of the game for both clubs. As Judge can just run a couple of plays now, they could fall down on the ball and run out the clock. And look at this, the inside handoff, and they're going to pick up a lot of yardage. They're going to take it over the 50, over the O'Hara 45 now, and down to the 43-yard line of O'Hara. So they are still still manipulating and working very well. 43 seconds to go as the ball's on the 43-yard line of O'Hara. Changing quarterbacks again, as we saw at the end because of injury at the end of the first half. Here at the second half, as the crowd now ringing the players down on the side as the clock continues to run. I don't think we're going to see another play. 25 seconds to go in the ball game. 28-15. Judge is leading the ball game. I don't think we're going to see another play as the players are being mobbed along the sidelines, as you can well see. 12 seconds to go in the ball game. I don't believe Judge is going to get off another play. I think they're just going to, well, they're going to come to the line of scrimmage. 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's it. This play isn't going to count as we have a winner here at Northeast High School in the Catholic League Championship game. Judge has defeated O'Hara this evening by the score of 28-15, and we'll be back with a wrap-up right after this. 15, so Judge the champion for 1981, and Drew, a great season, really culminating with a great game tonight here at Northeast High.
Sure was. The momentum went back and forth in the beginning. Both teams had it. Judge had initially, then O'Hara took it and moved the ball well in the air. The defense, the hitting on defense was tremendous by both squads. I think especially Judge, though, at the end of the first half, they gained a little bit more, maybe confidence, momentum, and took the game a little bit away at that point, got that nice lead at halftime. But good football game. You couldn't have asked for a better end. You saw two good teams play it at the end, and I think the better team came out tonight.
We talk about not most valuable player, but certainly the players that are going to be recognized in tonight's game. And I know Hugh Gannon and Drew Gordon certainly spent a lot of time thinking about it before we came up with it, because there are so many players playing in their final game, and most importantly, players that had big games. So let's get to that.
That's right. The MVP, we pick on offense. We pick on offense. Jerry Magallanes, the great fullback, the all-Catholic running back, 3 touchdowns tonight. And as we had said during the telecast, he did everything. He caught the ball, he blocked, he ran, he was in motion a lot. They used him an awful lot. He caught the pass for the touchdown and so forth. Good football player. Defensively, Matt Donnelly, the co-captain of Father Judge, the monster back, the guy that makes a lot of things happen on defense. Again, he was leading the defensive charge that I think, where they took control of the football game at the end of the first half.
Drew, we'd certainly be remiss. We did at the end of the ball game just take a moment to thank the fine crew that we've worked with, all the people, but I think we ought to start with Andy and just run down a couple of people that we've worked with in this 1981 season. It's been so much fun for all of us.
That's right. Andy, he makes it all happen somehow. It gets going, and we do so many things differently than, like other people do, and the effort's tremendous, and I think it comes out with the on-the-field camera, the instant replays that happened tonight. Difficult to do them because the offensive teams are coming out of the huddle so quickly, so we were running them, back and forth there, trying to get everything in, but a great job by the camera people, and of course you have your sponsors that get involved, and it's been tremendous working with you and with Hugh Gannon, and I think it's been a lot of fun, and I think a good telecast will come out of it.
And when you talk about those sponsors, we can't say enough about them. First of all, the Carasun dealers and all the great people that we've been associated with during this season with Carasun. And when you talk about the Gap, and there are 24 super locations here in the Delaware Valley, the Philadelphia 76er basketball organization, and of course the people that take care of your water, Culligan. If you want to know the best about water, there's only one group to get a hold of, and that is Culligan. See your Culligan man. So those are the people that have been kind enough to bring you this championship game here at Northeast High School. Championship game in which we saw some very, very exciting plays to close out the 1981 season.
Neither team has anything to be ashamed of. Anybody gets to a championship game. That's sometimes for many guys only once in a lifetime. It's of course better to come out a winner, but both teams played very well tonight. Father Judge, just kept it more consistent on offense, and I think that was a difference, and as a result, they're the winners.
Once again, Judge wins it by that score of 28-15 over Cardinal O'Hara. We were happy to bring it to you this evening. We hope you enjoyed it just half as much as we did. So to everyone, for the 1981 season, basketball is just around the corner. We're looking forward to that. For Hugh Gannon, who is downstairs right now, I'm Don Anderson, and of course, Drew Gordon. Good night, everyone.